Come on now, relax.
Okay. Come on, man.
Excuse me, excuse me.
Take that thing out of your mouth. Please behave.
Are you sure?
You
want to try this, Doc?
Oh my God!
It wasn't made for him. It wasn't made for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the world's wokest warrior, primitive-sided, toxic fanboy aligned with the like-minded Tony Tone Deaf rocking with you. I want to welcome one and all to the Clown World Review and welcome back to the Monday Night War Retrospective, Week 61, October 28th, 1996. And you know, October through February is my favorite time of year. For those that don't know, I was raised in a goddamn desert, so we've got perfect weather between around October till around February, sometimes March, April, you know, we'll get lucky, but love that time of year, love this time of year, because things are definitely heating up on Monday Night Raw. We've got Steve Austin being more prominently featured, really pushed, you know, and really made out to be a star with this upcoming episode we're getting ready to review. Also over on Nitro, we've got the NWO. They're becoming more dominant, growing in status. We're off the heels of Halloween Havoc 1996, where Mr. Roddy Piper did make his appearance on I don't know if he was in WCW at any point. I go back and watch WWF. I see him like in the late 70s. Now, I know he was I believe he was in Georgia Championship Wrestling for a bit, so I guess that counts. And he wrestled up in the Pacific Northwest. Either way, Roddy Piper makes his debut in modern WCW at Halloween Havoc. Will he make an appearance tonight on Nitro? And how's Hogan going to respond to this? They did cut their promo off about halfway through on that pay-per-view. Speaking of pay-per-views, we might just talk a little AEW tonight. Double or Nothing was in my hometown over the weekend. Great show. I didn't go personally because I had spent my money on Money in the Bank tickets for WWE, and guess what? Canceled. Yay, it was canceled. But something interesting, they don't usually go to the MGM Grand Garden Arena. That's never been WWF's venue. They've always went to the Thomas and Mack Center, or now the T-Mobile Arena, which was recently built. I believe it opened in 2017 or 2018. But it's International Fight Week in Las Vegas, the same weekend as Money in the Bank, so Vince is crazy. He's going up against the UFC in their hometown. Don't really know what he was thinking, but all the other venues were booked. So Money in the Bank will now take place from the MGM Grand Garden Arena, the same place that the 1996 Halloween Havoc took place. So it all comes around full circle, and Vince is made to look like an asshole. I was going to say, speaking of assholes, but that's just so mean. I'm just going to bring on Etep Wokuian. I love this guy. Definitely not an asshole. How are you doing, sir?
It is he, it is me, P double D, Etep Wokuian, in the place to be reviews. Pale as shit right here with all the yous. It's too damn hot to wear anything else than the tank top in my office right now. You're talking about weather. It is. In Nitro and Raw are definitely heating up right now, man. Raw was, for the most part, actually a pleasure to watch this week, which has been a rarity because, like I said, I bypass most of them. Don't adjust your screens either. I kind of cleaned. It's a little cooler for the summer, but this ain't going nowhere except down. But yeah, man, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. We got a kick-ass panel. Hail the chat. Parrot Head, I see you. The second biggest nose on YouTube. I see you.
What was the TV setting they would always blare up on CNN to make Trump appear more orange? I don't think it was the contrast. It was the
Is it like what is it? Not the hue? The hue?
No, it was like, yeah, whatever it was, we need to do that. You need to be Orange Man tonight. So
I could be Orange Man.
Yeah. Speaking of, And I apologize. I forgot to shout out the chat. So, Parrothead, what is up, brother? Angelous Draven, how are you doing, sir? Long time no see. Mr. Keely Chow, how are you, sir? Business is about to pick up in here. That is correct, because it's going to be the, porn parody of the Monday Night War tonight. Just because you're here, Keely Chow. Hail Judas Goat Barbecue, how are you doing, sir? Frank and Siobhani Wiener Dog Clan. And yeah, with that being said, it's just Etep and I on the panel tonight. We're going, 2-on-2, so definitely nobody else here.
Nope, nobody, just us. That's why I said it was such a kick-ass panel.
Fuck, what's that sparkling off in the distance?
I can't tell. It's kind of blinding, though.
Holy fuck, it's a vampire!
Hey guys, what's up? As you guys normally say, I'm the vampire that doesn't sparkle, but I sure do shine.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure being over here. Like you said, CM Punk is now the fucking AEW World Champion, which is... It's better than Hangman Page, let's be honest.
Why do you have to cry after every one of your matches, whether it's
I know.
or not?
I know. But, yeah, like, it's better than Hangman Page because his reign has been anything but good. No matter how much Tony Khan wants to say that it was, he's the best world champion we've had. No, that's fucking Kenny Omega. He's
Kenny Omega's like, I guess I'll go fuck champion. Myself.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, but tonight should be a good show. These Raw and Nitro were actually pretty good. I think I like the Raw more, honestly, just because of the Stone Cold bits.
Same
the
here.
little bit of NWO isn't just really that,
They didn't make much movement.
Yeah, exactly.
And thank you, by the way, you mentioned in the private chat, it's the saturation. Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, only when Etep is on the screen, but please adjust your saturation.
We did get some more evolution of the Sting Crow makeup.
That was beautiful
episode, which was awesome. So
yeah, and a surprise because honestly, it didn't look too good when he came out to the ring last week or so. When he made me look like an asshole. But I promise now you won't hear him speak till like late 97. So.
Way to go, Sting.
Yeah. Yep. Fucking Sting.
FNP.
And if you guys haven't after the show, definitely check out Angelous Draven's YouTube where we had our AEW review after the show. Fun time, fun night. I know those pay-per-views run long, but I look at it like this.
Well, this was like the longest one, and I was watching their press scrim or whatever afterwards, and he said he's like, yeah, I know it was long, but I want to give you guys the most for your money, he said. And he said as far as like money, as like from a business standpoint, it made them more money having it longer than it did having it shorter.
Yep.
Look, you have quarterly pay-per-views. Those are the big paydays, are the pay-per-views, and you have an entire roster to take care of. So you gotta, and I think that's one reason we got so many like 6-man tags and this kind of tag and that kind of tag and anarchy, because you're trying to get everyone on that card. But eventually things will even out some. I really think they should maybe do a few house shows in the week, but they'll reach
sort of what Dark and Dark Elevation are.
Yeah,
they're like the house shows,
So definitely, we'll get more into AEW in just a moment. Sit tight, Frank and Siobhani Wiener Dog Clan. We have one more guest here on the panel, and Vinny should be joining us later. Tommy might, if not, Tommy's been a little under the weather lately, so yes, Tommy's had vampades. No, Tommy's been a little under the weather, so if he doesn't make it tonight, he will be back soon. We miss you, Tommy. We love you, bro.
Sir.
And so with that being said, allow me to introduce Mr. Superfan Adam Shawhan.
Hello, everybody. It's true. It's true. Oh, it's damn true. We're going to have some fun talks tonight about some wrestling.
Hell yes, dude. I love the NWO in the background, too. That's awesome. It's fucking A, man. I miss that. I got to say, and we had it so good back then that we probably didn't appreciate how good it was, but Kurt Angle's first stint when he really started heating up, and he'd be like, well, it's true. He'd like go out there and completely insult an entire town, or he'd insult like the town's hero or something. Like, be like, well, what? It's true. It's true. Like, he's like, I'm happy to be here, and even though this is the town where so-and-so got a DUI in, someone beloved, you know, like going to San Francisco and saying, I love this town, even though there's poo on the streets and Paul Pelosi just got a DUI, and then the fans would just boo and be like, what? It's true. It's true. Gold.
If you went to San Francisco and insulted Joe Montana, there would be riots in the streets. You know what I mean? Probably one of the most beloved sports figures in the history of the city. Like that, yeah. I don't know if people would quite defend Pelosi. I don't know. I don't know if that'd happen. That might be met with a thunderous applause.
Yes. So, guys, I in all my infinite wisdom, I forgot to put out a tweet a little while ago, so I just tweeted that out. If you guys want to jump on your Twitters and twat that out.
On the twatter.
Yes, please jump on your Twitter and twat.
And Twitter.
Yeah, just 'cause I don't want Parrot Head and Keeley to get lonely. Judas Goat told me in the back he didn't really like talking to them. No, I'm kidding. I just want some backstage drama. That's all. I wish you could share memes in the YouTube chat. Like Parrot Head would keep us fucking occupied all night.
Oh yeah.
Fucking great memes from this guy. So Glenzer, how are you doing, bro? Charles Barkley was in San Fran for Warriors versus Mavericks. He said live on air, clean up this shitty.
It probably sounded like this. Oh, Kenny, they need to clean up this city, Kenny.
God damn it, Kenny.
Oh, God damn it.
I need to watch that South Park like post-COVID special now that we just subscribed to Paramount Plus yesterday. Bunch of, dude, I gotta say, like, because I'm not the biggest Star Trek fan. I would have had it a long time ago if that were the case. Sorry for the background noise. There's a lot of good movies on Paramount Plus. I'm going through there last night, like, holy shit. Like, it gets bagged on a lot, and so does Peacock, but they have some all right stuff on there, you know? Yeah. I find more to watch on Peacock and Paramount Plus than I do on Netflix. Netflix is fucking... It's been a desert since basically everyone got wise to the act and pulled their stuff off of there.
New season of Stranger Things is pretty good.
I've never seen a second of that show.
We got the first half of it. It was pretty good.
I made myself watch the first season, but it has every reason for me to be into it except for I'm not. And one of those reasons is Winona Ryder, fucking small titty goth girlfriend, you know?
Yeah.
But fuck you, Winona Ryder.
Her ping pong trick, right?
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Then Tony'd be in, but since there's no ping pong tricks, I'm out.
Yeah, she's like a pretty Helena Bonham Carter.
If you're not shooting the ball out of your hook, we're done.
Hey, what's up, Brian Kreisgau? Nice to see you, bro. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, Brian?
Darren, like my father before me. How are you doing, sir? Was just off to bed, but I'll stick around for a bit. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So, yeah, good times. We got great people in the chat. Great weekend of wrestling. Again, I get that some people think it may run a little long, but, you know, I kind of like the longer wrestling shows, especially when they don't put on monthly pay-per-views. If you're running a monthly pay-per-view, cut that shit at 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Make your special ones a little longer, you know, but you know, if you're running a pay-per-view every 3 months, I get it. You know, I get it. There's and you know, wrestling is one of those things too. You can kind of have it, you know, the mid-card going on in the background while you're barbecuing, you know, spending time with the family, drinking some beers, hanging out with friends. And then, you know, those longer shows are really nice when you have that going on. So definitely. Glinzer says, I fear watching any series until it's over. It can take a nosedive. So I've heard from Game of Thrones fans. Very true.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Very true.
Speaking of bad shows, I just watched the trailer for Gotham Knights. Oh,
I bet.
oh, I can't. I'm gonna do a trailer reaction. I'm not gonna be showing the trailer in the video. Well, we'll work around that creatively, but yeah, that's oof, man. That looks like a dumpster fire. It's already the trailer's already getting ratioed.
Damn.
Why not just tell compelling fucking television?
They just want to kill Batman off again. All right, I'm not gonna get on a side tangent about that.
Darren says that he agrees. Season 4 of Stranger Things is actually good.
It
He's
is
been
really good.
enjoying it. So good, you know. That's what, I don't want anything to do bad. I wish there was so much good stuff on TV that my problem was not having the time to watch it all.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I keep hearing, speaking of good TV, I hear we're gonna watch 1886 on Paramount Plus. We've gotten through the first episode
That's
already.
good.
Yeah, I can get a little soapy, but I like Yellowstone. But
yeah.
1886, and then the Mayors, was it the Mayors of Kingstown?
The Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner. That's pretty good too.
I keep hearing it's good, so we're gonna check that out. Got a few others. I've been liking the westerns lately. Like, I kind of want to check out Deadwood. I think I like 1886, at least the setting, a little more than Yellowstone, because I've just had a thing for the Wild West lately, man. Like, it's just it was a harder way of life, but a lot of things were simpler too. You know, if you had a beef, you fucking
just
go
calm
out
down
there
in the
and
middle of
handle
the
it.
street.
Yeah. It's not all this fucking. It's not all this bullshit. So, Gotham Knight looks so bad. Yes, it does. Judas Go Barbecue. Parrothead says you need to eat more edibles. Etep.
I don't have any more. I ate them all.
Gotta fly
Good.
some over for him, Parrothead.
That tends to happen when you eat them by the bag.
Fuck them Chong ones are delicious. I ain't gonna lie.
And no, Glunzer, it's only about President Brandon's cock. That's all.
Hail Tommy.
Yeah, watch your toes,
Tommy.
motherfucker.
Nibble.
Yeah.
Weak.
Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective. He says, "Greetings, fellow wrestling fans. Hail to you, sir. It's great to see you." So yeah, kind of like what Draven was saying. Like, I usually save this for the end of the show, but you know, comparing Raw and Nitro tonight. Hold on, Brian says I wouldn't watch Gotham Knights with your eyes and blame it on Adam. Like,
Dude,
I'm voluntarily watching it just like I did Batwoman.
You're watching it hoping to get your fill of the missing Batwoman.
It's the same writers as Batwoman, so I'm so excited. It's going to be glorious.
so yeah,
I'm masochistic.
it's like, okay, Raw has been pretty bad from the beginning of this, September 95 all the way now. Again, we're at October 28th, 1996. It's been pretty bad all the way up until last week, about halfway through the show, the 21st of October. It's like a switch flipped and things started getting pretty compelling. You know, even it's interesting watching Stone Cold's ascension to relevancy, but it hasn't been a good product. Their pay-per-views have been lackluster. WrestleMania 12 is pretty lackluster with the exception of a few matches. But last week, it got really interesting when Bret Hart returned, and then we had the whole swerve, what they are dubbing the Perfect Hoax, where Mr. Perfect and Hunter Hearst Helmsley basically wrangled Mark Merrow out of his Intercontinental title. Now it belongs to Hunter. Then this week was definitely the most Stone Cold heavy show yet. I mean, Bret Hart said last week that he wants to wrestle the best wrestler in the WWF, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and this week they bring Austin on and they are portraying him like the star that he's about to become. I mean, they really put a lot behind Austin tonight, put some wind in his sails, and it's good to see. Steve Austin's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Definitely the favorite, but, you know, Undertaker's right up there with him. Ric Flair, a couple others. So it's good to see. You know, I love me some Steve Austin, so we're definitely going to get into that tonight. But we're going to start with this first hour of Nitro here. Now, WCW is coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona at the American West Arena with a rating of 3.6, making them the winner tonight. This is like, what, the 16th, 17th week in a row out of 80-something weeks that they're going to win. But it's nice to see Raw already picking up in steam, you know. Raw is coming to you again from Fort Wayne, Indiana at the War Memorial Coliseum with a rating of 2.0. There's a 1.6 difference, which is pretty big when your rating is only 2 anyway. You know, like, yeah.
And this is the first WCW event after Havoc, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
That's why they're in Phoenix, about 6 hours away from here in Las Vegas.
Oh,
Yeah. So, current WCW champions are as followed. Your world champion, Hollywood Hogan. Your U.S. champion, this one's kind of in the air. Technically, it's Ric Flair, but he's injured. And Giant just kind of took it from him, how he took the world title from Hollywood Hogan around October last year. He didn't technically win it, but you try to take it from him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Our World Tag Team Champions, as of last night, the Outsiders. Your World Television Champion, Lord Steven Regal. And we're going to start the show with Steven Regal tonight because even though he's Television Champion, we haven't seen him with the title yet. Then we have your Cruiserweight Champion since last night, Dean Malenko. He finally got his rematch against Rey Mysterio and bested Mysterio at Halloween Havoc. So if you count Giant as the U.S. champion, you've got Hollywood Hogan as world, Giant as U.S. champion, and the Outsiders as tag team champions. So the NWO is accruing quite the collection here. So, yeah. Basically, think about the bloodline. Think about Roman Reigns and the Usos and the same fucking thing. But, you know, entertaining.
Congratulations, Darren.
The Usos and Roman Reigns and entertainment in the same sentence? What?
Guys, I have some good news. On Friday, I have one every 3 months. My MRI scan came back as stable, meaning no regrowth on my brain tumor. God bless you, brother.
God bless, man. That's fucking amazing, Darren. Congratulations, brother.
That's beautiful to hear, bro.
L'chaim.
Hell yeah, man.
Nice.
Beautiful to hear. So, our one commentators are Tony Siobhani and Cincinnati Chili himself, Larry Zbyszko. Don't ask me why. It just looks like that's all he does when he's not commentating on wrestling is just making chili, you know? Like Larry Zbyszko would have been a firefighter, you know? He would have put out fires and ate fucking chili, and that would have been his life had he not found wrestling.
5-alarm chili.
Yeah.
It's got a new world order to it.
So, our show begins with our first look at Steven Regal's television champion. He won the title in August. Actually, August 20th to be specific. So, yeah, about 3 months ago, but he's been overseas wrestling. But he is going to defend the title tonight against Juventud Guerrera. But as the bell rings, we actually get a look at Sting in the rafters, looking much more like the Crow. Now, last week when he came out, it looked more like his old makeup setup, but just black and white.
Yep.
This week, he was just decked out looking like the Crow. It looked great. No one's sure if he's NWO or not. No one knows his intentions. So, and that's
last week he had rainbow scorpions on his black tights. That's what I think threw it off, to be honest.
Well, it's got to be June somewhere.
Yep.
Steven Regal defeats Juventud Guerrera via the Regal stretch in 3 minutes, 20 seconds. During the match, the NWO propagandists are in the audience, and Six is in the audience. And that's what kind of gives off the vibe that maybe Sting is, because he's hanging out, on the outskirts of the arena, kind of how the NWO does. But Six actually gets his hand on a mic. Don't know how he got that in the audience. And welcomes everyone to NWO Nitro. The NWO has the world title, the US title, the tag titles, and when Six is finished, he'll have the television title, right? Like the match they're having on TV, right?
Yeah.
No, Six says he will have the cruiserweight title, which makes me wonder why they did this now during the television title match. But WCW. So Six is setting his sights on the cruiserweight title. He also tells Sting, he's like, I see you up there, bro. You make the right choice. You choose NWO. But a serious question, you guys. Like, it's a television title match. And they always have the cruiserweight champion on Nitro, right? They may not always defend it, but I mean, it's not like they're keeping the cruiserweight champion off TV except for pay-per-views. Why wouldn't you have Six cut a promo about wanting the cruiserweight title? Like, the one title that didn't get mentioned in this promo was the one being defended at the moment,
Because Dean Malenko's got the belt and everybody's scared of Dean.
Yeah, but it's a weird time to have it. Like, they could have, if they would have saved this for Dean Malenko a little later, it would have made absolutely no difference, except it just would have looked better, and it would have caused some tension between Six and Dean. Yeah. So just a little weird placement of the promo. I mean, it didn't ruin anything, but just a weird placement. So
the TV title always gets raped. We don't get to see it. We never got to see it enough. It was always the live events, but those of us watching on TV, that's why we didn't get to see half of Johnny B. Bad's good run, because it was dark shows.
Yep.
Yeah, it was all dark matches against DDP and shit. It did a really, really solid work, or a great injustice, because I like Mark Merrow's work. I didn't necessarily care for the Johnny B. Bad gimmick, but I always admired his work. The man was fluid in the ring.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
To be honest, the boxer gimmick wasn't so bad. It's just not good for wrestling, I don't know. I prefer Johnny B. Bad over the boxing Mark Merrow.
Yeah.
See, I like the Marvelous Mark Merrow gimmick.
Which one is that? Is that the boxing one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Marvelous Mark Merrow?
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a matter of taste. It's a matter of taste.
If he would have won that, that fight thing, the brawl for all, then sure, it would have made even more sense. But that didn't happen.
They always play it up like wrestling is they're tougher than boxers, just for in the just fantasy scheme of wrestling. Not saying they actually are.
Yeah.
So it just makes him seem like, I don't know.
We knew that when Shawn Michaels got beat up by one veteran after running his hole. So
Yeah. So anyway, so Tony Schiavone interviews Regal after the match, or he's supposed to interview Regal, and then it ends up not happening. And he's like, well, maybe we'll interview Regal after the commercial break. And then we come back from commercial, and that's just completely forgotten. So not quite sure what happened there. But I mean, Schiavone's also commentating, so he had to get up and go over there with a mic and everything. So not sure what happened there.
They gave Mean Gene the night off, huh?
Yeah, where's Gene been? He's been
on here in a minute. He's been gone for a minute.
Yeah. Tony, usually what they were doing was Mike Tenay covering the first hour, and then when Tenay would go to commentary on the second hour, Schiavone would cover it. But it's where is Gene? He's been gone for a little over a month now. Maybe JR's mom died around this time, so that's,
Gene's in rehab.
Gene was hitting that,
For all that tutti frutti.
Tutti frutti, baby.
Gene was like, I fucked your mom, Jim.
And
You fuck my wife?
every time Hogan flexes, Gene's like, "Oh yeah."
He heard Lex Luger say he's sick and tired of playing around with kids, and he just figured he'd probably distance himself for a few months. Like, it's the last thing I
just
need.
figured he was off on a drunken stupor, just a normal, I'm going to take a 30-day hiatus just to get drunk and Tutti Frutti party.
Maybe he's in Ric Flair's trunk.
Yes. Rolling with the horsemen.
Yes. So our next match, DDP versus Mike Enos. Yes, Diamond Dallas Page defeats Enos with the Diamond Cutter, 4 minutes, 37 seconds. Speaking of the tide turning with certain wrestlers, like Steve Austin's really presented as a star tonight. A heel, but a star, a big deal, DDP, he's slowly, and this is probably why Vince punished him when he got to the WWE, because DDP's really starting to get over organically. Like, he just got out of a feud with Eddie Guerrero where he was very much the heel. They're not trying to push him as a good guy, but he's just starting to come off that way. Diamond Cutter itself is getting over because he can hit it from anywhere. And he really sets the tone for this match right when the bell rings, he slaps Mike Enos like a bitch. Just smacks him across the face. And throughout the match, Enos got some offense in too, but I mean, Paige basically dominated and was getting some decent crowd reactions, a lot more than what he received a few months ago. The crowd used to be a bit silent for Paige.
Commentating, the commentators even mentioned it when he hit the Diamond Cutter. They're like, the crowd is cheering for him using his finisher.
Yeah, because they're trying to talk about him like a heel, and you can't ignore it.
Yeah.
So during this match, the Outsiders were in the audience with their newly won tag titles, watching Paige and rooting for him, and it seemed like they were kind of scouting him, Good time for Paige's career, especially knowing where this goes. He's getting over naturally. The Diamond Cutter's getting over, and it's good to see because I'm a Diamond Dallas Page mark. I really liked him, and I think
I did too.
Not just WWF misused him, but I think WCW missed a big opportunity in A, not having Paige defeat Goldberg for the title, but B, when they did put the title on Paige, they turned him heel first, and it was kind of just, not that it was a horrible title run, but it just kind of was a wet blanket on the momentum of the overall product. He could have been a very popular face champion, and he definitely worked for it.
I just remember him and Karl Malone and fucking Hollywood Hogan and Rodman going against him.
Hey, have a good night, Darren. Thank you for staying up.
See you,
and
Darren.
joining us, bro.
Yeah,
and again,
thanks for sharing that great news.
Yeah, man.
Fucking brought a tear to my eye, bro. I'm fucking praying for you, man.
Yes, sir.
Is Dean Malenko the illegitimate child of Bruce Willis?
Me think so.
I think Bruce Willis is the illegitimate child of Dean Malenko, to be honest. So, Hail Red Gaze, tired of playing with kids. That's no way to get a job at Disney. And good night, Darren. Glad to hear the news, brother. DDP was used better in the Devil's Rejects than in WCW or WWE. Was he in the Devil's Rejects?
Wait, who?
DDP.
In the Devil's Rejects? He might have been. I haven't seen that movie since like 2000 and
I've seen it.
When did that come out? 09?
And that's the last time I remember seeing it.
Yeah, I saw it right after it came out on like DVD or whatever.
Somehow that sounds right, though.
Well, Rob Zombie was used better in Beavis and Butthead than he was the Devil's Rejects. So,
yep,
he is in it.
Holy shit!
That's must be
I
really
always like DDP, man. Even before now, now as he's being built up. But even before that, like when we were making fun of the booty man and you know, the booty babe, booty doll and all that, because he lost Kimberly. But even when we were having those little bits back then, it was great. And now to see his character, and we know where it goes. I mean, even when WCW's folding, you still have Diamond Dallas Page matches on Monday Nitro. So,
you know, I've disliked Danny Trejo just a little bit since he was in the Book of Boba Fett. Just like, fuck you, dude.
So then your favorite part's got to be from Breaking Bad because he's turtle, you know, his head's on the turtle that explodes.
Yes, that was awesome.
I just saw that part the other day. I love that show, man. I always think of you when I'm watching it too.
I just can't stop picturing millennials sitting around the writing table like, you know who we should get for this show? Danny Trejo. Like, I don't want to see people I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to see Bill Burr in Star Wars. I don't want to see Danny Trejo. I don't want to see Angelina Jolie or fucking Brie Larson or any of these other motherfuckers. It takes me out. Like, when Harrison Ford was in it, he was kind of a no-namer. Mark Hamill. Yeah.
It's what made him.
Robert Downey Jr. was well known, but he hadn't been in anything in like forever. So it was like,
yeah, so that was cool for that was cool for Iron Man and shit. And certain movies, like, you can have. I'm fine with that. Like, I thought making Chris Evans Captain America was going to be a bad like decision. I was like, okay, he's the Human Torch though, and he ended up playing a great Cap. Like, didn't learn anything from it, but played a great Cap.
I agree.
But when I'm watching Star Wars specifically, I mean, I don't know. I don't need to see Danny Trejo. Isn't there another Mexican with pockmarks?
Tony.
What's that?
I think you just go get you some Trejo tacos.
Yeah. Well, just go get another Mexican that had picked his face at some point in his career. Like, please.
Instead of his ass.
God damn.
Just saying. So, next up is the match 6 should have come out on, and it would have made about 20 minutes difference. WCW Cruiserweight Champion Dean Malenko defeats Jim Powers with Teddy Long via a roll-up after, and I saw it clear cut. They were claiming this happened last week. I saw it clear cut this time. Malenko pins Jim Powers with a roll-up after Teddy Long, who's been feuding with Nick Patrick and who's supposed to be the baby face of this feud, actually distracts Nick Patrick and justifies the referee not seeing Jim Powers get an advantage over Malenko. So he tries to pin Malenko, but Teddy Long, who got Nick Patrick's attention, is arguing with them and kind of screws his own wrestler out of his victory.
Bullshit.
And it makes Nick Patrick look innocent. It doesn't make him look like a heel. It makes Teddy Long look like a moron. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, to be fair, Teddy Long kind of is a moron.
Yeah.
And it's not just, Teddy Long. It's fat Teddy Long where he talks out of his neck.
He sounds like Brian Last.
No player.
Oh, no, Brian.
He sounds like Brian Last neck. He's like,
Hey, Connie, it's me, Brian Last Neck. Here I am. What's going on, Connie? Did you do the Manscaped spot yet?
Or the magic spoon.
Hey, do magic spoon. I'm hungry, Connie.
well, no shit, you're hungry, Brian. You're fucking fat.
Say the winner of the 6 man is going to face the Undertaker. Playa in Brian's accent.
The winner of the 6 man is gonna face the Undertaker, player.
That poor microphone.
I've got a spit guard.
He needs a little bit more meat wad to it.
I'm thinking Brian Last holding those handheld mics, like.
Oh.
And then someone else has got to use that later in the night. That's one of the ones you just drop and let it burn out.
It's a tough life.
Yeah, because then after this match, doesn't Siobhani interview Nick Patrick, and then talk about...
No, that's going to be later on in the night.
Okay.
Yeah, where he brings out his lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a little later on. So, yeah, during this match, so during the Malinko Jim Powers match, Psychosis, who's been out for a few months due to an injury received by Conan, he comes out on the ramp and he's watching, and it looks like, you know, we're going to get Dean Malenko versus Psychosis, possibly as Malenko's first main title defense on a pay-per-view or something. So that's something to look forward to. I like Psychosis. Yeah.
Psychosis was underrated. I always laughed when they put Mysterio over on him because I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I always like Psychosis. I was never a Mysterio fan, admittedly. I respect him, but I was never much of a fan.
Mysterio was like the Hulk Hogan of luchas compared to like Psychosis, who might be like the Ric Flair, you know, like
yeah.
Ray was for like mainstream.
Yep.
Yes, fans.
Yep. Psychosis was more niche, but I always liked him, and I always thought it was fun when the Villanos showed up. You know, Viano 4 and 5. I think number 4 broke his neck actually.
Well, they pushing Ray's son or whatever. I've watched him wrestle. He's not good. He's terrible.
No. Well, they worked. What didn't we watch? Was it WrestleMania we watched?
Yeah. I wasn't here for that.
Yeah. He wrestled the tag match with his dad and me. No, it wasn't good.
Yeah, I've watched him. He's not good, and it's like Dark Penta or whatever from AEW is 20 times better than him. And,
yeah.
So Glenzer says Teddy Long sounded like the mother in Throw Mama from the Train. He also says Johnny Depp liked Psychosis. Hope he's over that now. Good times, man. Thank you, Glenzer. So next up, we get the fake Double J, Jeff Jarrett, defeating Ricky Morton via the figure 4 leg lock in 4 minutes and 34 seconds. After the match, the Giant with the U.S. title from the audience around the same spot as Six and the Outsiders, he cuts a promo on Double J and says that Jarrett thinks Flair passed him the torch when it was actually only a wet match. The Giant had Jarrett beat at Halloween Havoc, but Ric Flair interfered. And that's because the Horsemen fight scared, they walk scared, and they are scared. And someday, somewhere, Jarrett will feel the Giant wrap his hand around Jarrett's neck and slam him down to hell. And if the Horsemen get in his way, he will take them out systematically. And, you know, it goes on a little, you know, Jarrett, you think you're a horseman, but blah, 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 blah. And yeah.
He didn't fumble over his lines this time.
Yeah.
He actually managed to say them all without, like, fucking it up.
They should have sent him out there in the audience with a bowl full of ice.
And he literally hits the first rope with it. It's like, dude, it's like right there. The edge is there. Like, it's not that hard. Just push it under it.
Which way did he go? Which way did he go? So Siobhani now interviews Jarrett. Double J tells the Giant to get down to the ring now, but the Giant's already long gone. It's probably why Jarrett said it. He saw he was gone. Kind of like how like Red never shows up when Walu Gazy is around. Same energy.
Walu Gazy.
Yeah. I'll get you, Ren. Yeah. So Double J says WCW needs to unite. He came here. He didn't realize there'd be so many factions. The Dungeon of Doom feuding with the Horsemen and this and that. And they need to unite so the NWO can be taken down. Then he said, I got to admit, his humor is great. He says, if Sting doesn't want to be the leader, I'll be the leader. No, thank you, Double J.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
It's just
let the NWO take over. Yeah.
This is what Sting thinks of that.
Hold on.
We're not at slap nut levels yet, so yeah, piss off.
Oh, we got Vinny here. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm working very hard to get these books out the door.
Hell yeah, man.
I had good news Australia, so I was trying to get as many of those together as possible to run to the damn post office before they go back in lockdown.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't need to lose my shirt in order to mail a couple of books.
That's crazy.
How are you guys doing?
Awesome, man.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Sweet. I heard some other good news. I don't know if you saw that earlier. Joe Quesada got shit canned.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he put out some kind of Facebook thing, from what I understand, going, yeah, I decided to quit. But, we know that's not the case. He got shit canned. They were talking about for a while they wanted to replace him. I think Kevin Feige's actually, they put him in charge of everything now.
Oh, wow.
Which is, yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's all going down the toilet anyway, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's that way they can do it in comics and justify their bullshit. Well, it's in the comics, guys.
Yeah, that's essentially what they're doing. You're right.
From 3 months ago, asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's all about they're just being cheap, just like Star Wars. They don't want to pay royalties, and it's like, fine. I'd rather make $2 billion on a movie and pay out some royalties than make half the budget back and not pay any royalties. Like,
oh yeah,
what's wrong with you?
The whole thing is filthy, top to bottom. These people are gross, and then the ones
disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about doing a stream, but again, I was too busy packing up all these books. Actually fulfilling.
And you can help this man work even harder if you order Shadow of the Kraken. I know a certain cover's going away, right?
Yes, it should be down right now. I need to correct that. Last chance.
Yeah.
You said that last night.
Take advantage.
No, I was so fucking busy today, I forgot to pull it. I'm pulling it now. So if anyone in chat, 5, 4, 3. Oh shit. Yeah, I gotta remove that.
Yeah. Vinny's a star, so make sure to get his early work now, and couple,
right.
30 years from now when Disney buys his stuff, it's gonna be worth a lot of money.
You mean 30 years from now when Vinny buys Disney?
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Why is it going to take me 30 years to hit the Powerball?
Well,
come on,
right?
guys.
Keep buying those tickets.
Yep, you got it.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Mama barbecue sauce and then buy Shadow of the Kraken.
Eric Bischoff is a no-good, lousy son of a bitch. Hey! Come on, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch, don't you hear me? That son of a bitch! Does he have no conscience? Does he have no heart? Do you have no soul, you son of a bitch? I'm Triple H, you son of a bitch! I am reality! He's a son of a bitch if you ask me. The Rock just put Billy Gunn's face in that large woman's ass.
I'll kill your family.
Ass boys.
So, with Double J's exit from the ringside area, that will bring us to the end of hour 1. So we'll go ahead and jump into the first or the only hour of WWF Raw. And that might be changing next week, by the way. Vince was saying he never said Raw is going to be 2 hours, but he kept saying Raw is starting an hour earlier.
Yeah, that was so funny, dude. I noticed that too. I'm like, he did say, oh, we're going to be 2 hours long. We're starting an hour early. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, they're live now, aren't they?
No, only they're only live the first pay-per-view, the day after the pay-per-view. They're live.
Gotcha.
And then that same night, once they go off the air, they record the other shows. But pretty soon they're going to be jumping to every other
week.
Yeah,
they'll
be
week.
live tape. But
gotcha.
Right now it's live tape.
Mm-hmm. We've got that epic episode coming up next week because they get in trouble because people thought with Pillman and all that in Austin that it was for real.
Yep.
So
Yep,
USA
jump
Network
into
weren't
that.
too happy with
Yeah.
that. And then when the DX thing happens, that was hilarious too.
Yep.
We will not say bleep.
So hour 2, we begin with WWF Raw. Again, they pulled a solid 2.0 rating compared to Nitro's 3.6. And
I like where you're starting with this too, though, because we left WCW with Double J.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, man, I forgot to send that over to my phone. It's okay. So, the current WWF champions at this time are as followed. You've got your world champion, Shawn Michaels. He's been the world champion since WrestleMania 12, March 31st, 1996. And Brett's been gone that long. Up until last week, he just came back. So it's good to see Bret Hart back. Intercontinental champion since last week, October 21st, 96, is Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And your world tag team champions, Owen Hart and Davey Boy Smith. They won those back in late September 96. So our first match is the real Double J, Jesse James, versus Salvatore Sincere. And here's the thing. They've really been pushing, well, he's the real Double J. God damn
He
it.
does like the stupid strut and everything. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, so he comes out and Vince McMahon keeps saying the real Double J, Jesse James, the real Double J, Jesse James, over and over and over, hammering that home. And then we get into the fucking ring. Here, I'm going to show everybody. We get into the ring. We go to start the match. And even JR or Jim Ross, Jerry Lawler had to call him out on this. So over and over, the real Double J, Jesse James, the real Double J, Jesse James.
In action, Salvatore Sincere against Double J, Jeff Jarrett to open up things here tonight.
So he calls him Jeff Jarrett, which is like Vince, the marketing for WCW on your show is just fantastic. Like they're giving away the spoilers on Nitro, and you're really marketing their wrestlers. Like everyone knows who Jeff Jarrett is now through these stupid skits week after week, and then because you can't keep your own shit straight. So
It's like JR now, kept calling all the AEW superstars.
I was gonna
after the
say,
WWE name.
I was gonna say, like in AEW the other night, he kept calling, like, he's lucky Jeff Hardy's name is the same in both promotions, because he was thinking of WWF Jeff Hardy as he was calling the AEW match. Yeah.
Which, speaking of Jeff Hardy, he won't be on Dynamite. They had a 10-man tag match. It was Hardy's and I forget the group that he was going to be with, and they were going to fight somebody else. And he got removed from that match, so I'm not sure if they're going to replace it or nix that match altogether. And speculation is he's hurt, or
or
dealing with his abuse, alcohol abuse and shit. So
well, I hope he's not abusing again.
Same.
The kid is talented, and he's got to live a pretty awesome life. Sure, it's a painful life. He's been through some shit, in and out of the ring. I mean, the guy had to watch his house burn down with his dog in there. Like that's fucking sad. That's sad. But a lot of that probably could have been prevented too if he was in a better place mentally. So.
And he did seem a little off at Double or Nothing. We were even talking about it. So
who's still had one of the matches.
Jeff Hardy.
Of the night.
Oh yeah.
He still had one of the matches of the night too, even though he was off. But it's like, I'd rather you put on, a run-of-the-mill match, which I don't see Jeff Hardy put on many run-of-the-mill matches, but I'd rather him put on maybe a less
Some
intense
people
match,
think he's hurt
he's healthy,
just because of all the crazy freaking spots he's been doing, like before last night. So a lot of people think he's hurt. And the match that he had with Adam Cole, you could tell that he was hurt because he had one of those brace things around his waist or whatever too.
Well, we're praying for you, Jeff.
Yep.
the Hardy Boys look like giants compared to the fucking Young Bucks. Like,
Yeah,
damn,
they do.
dude.
Yeah, they did.
So,
It looked like grown men wrestling little boys. A couple. It really did.
Yeah, and you could really see, like, you'd see the Young Bucks and be like, oh, they kind of remind me of the Hardys, but when they were in the ring together, you could really see why the Hardys were stars. You know, they just looked like stars. So, Jesse James, the real Double J, Jeff Jarrett, defeats Salvatore Sincere via the pump handle slam. 4 minutes and 14 seconds. I think the last time I saw Salvatore Sincere, he was undefeated and had been undefeated since his debut several months before. So he was on a hot streak, and then he main evented Raw against The Undertaker, and The Undertaker handed him his first defeat, but looks like he's really dropping down the rankings here. He loses to Jesse James via pump handle slam, and it just, he kind of came off more as a jobber compared to a few months ago when it looked like they were going to take him serious.
He looked like a wannabe model Rick Martel in his outfit.
Yeah, I thought it was Rick Martel at first. I'm like, is that Martel?
That's Salvatore Sincere.
Vince, I couldn't tell them apart. They look the same.
It's fucking Mace the Murderer, whatever the fuck they're gonna name Stone Cold or Mankind or something like that. Just like, this is what happens when you go with their suggestions, Salvatore. So next time, come up with your own gimmick. Dude's got a good look too, but it is what it is. So after the match, we cut to Doc Hendricks to promote the Survivor Series and the WWF Hall of Fame, but he is interrupted by Stone Cold Steve Austin, who said nobody cares about the Hall of Fame farts getting a trophy handed to them. I don't think Vinny was here when we announced the Hall of Fame recipients. It's like the worst Hall of Fame class imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Vincent J. McMahon, okay, which is the better of the two. Then you have Pat Patterson.
Oh, God.
And then you have Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Like,
oh, boy. A murderer.
Like, are you, like, lining them up by felonies, or?
I think so.
Yeah.
Murder, rapist, and
I feel bad for the hotel staff at the Radisson that weekend. That's all I'm saying. So, Doc Hendricks is interrupted by Stone Cold Steve Austin, and tonight is a Stone Cold night. We're just right after the first match, we already see Austin on screen. He says nobody cares about the Hall of Fame farts getting a trophy. Then Austin berates the cameraman for trying to, like, kind of cut away from him and keep centered on Doc Hendricks. And Austin questions, because we're going to hear from Bret Hart tonight, live from Calgary, even though, they're in the same place they were last week and Bret was there. Live from quote-unquote Calgary. Austin questions why Bret is at home. And the bottom line is, at Survivor Series, Austin will kick Bret's ass.
He's at home washing his tights. Sorry.
And then we'll go through it later, but Doc Hendricks kind of runs down the Survivor Series card so far, which I believe all that was announced, well, I guess with Bret taking on Austin, we have Bret versus Steve Austin, and then obviously Psycho Sid challenging Shawn Michaels for the WWF Championship. He became the #1 contender at the last In Your House. So we've got a couple more matches on the card now. So
I think that pay-per-view, though, to me, the Austin match was the most important match. I didn't give no shits about Sid and Michaels.
Yeah,
it's just a weird I don't know, it's just a weird matchup, I guess.
And it's weird, not to spoil it ahead of time, but I mean, this match will ultimately affect what the WrestleMania main event's going to be, but still, Bret and Steve Austin were more important here and when they wrestle at WrestleMania 13. So,
So Cold is pissed because he had to drop, like, because where they're at, isn't it near where Austin's from or whatever?
No, because
Or
he's in New
something like
York.
that?
He's
Oh,
from
are
Fort
they?
Wayne, Texas. Yeah.
No, they're in
Okay.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, he's like, why? What? Yeah, we'll get to that part. I have all
Yeah.
that written.
Did I miss
so?
Did I miss the Pillman part when he went to his house?
Not yet. So
Okay. I wanted to watch it. I haven't had a chance yet.
well, the actual one, it's going to be all right. So it's going to be announced that yesterday on Superstars on the 27th of October, Austin Pillmanized Brian Pillman, which is a term in the industry. He Pillmanized his ankle. He put it in the chair and then jumped off from the middle rope and like crushed Pillman's ankle.
Yeah.
So next week on Raw, we're going to be live from Pillman's house. And that's basically goes to what Draven was saying. He's like, Austin's like, okay, you're fucking going to Bret Hart's house. You're going to Brian Pillman's house. Why didn't anybody come to my home in Victoria, Texas? And
Right.
yeah.
I remember
So,
that.
but yeah, that's going to be next week, like the big Brian Pillman, Steve Austin episode. I'm excited for that.
Nice. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Fucking can't wait. So,
This was the first angle that they were working on with them, right? Since WCW days.
yeah. And yeah, he'll even address that later on. Fucking, and he brings up Stone Cold brings up a popular catchphrase of his tonight for the first time as well in regards to that.
Oh, nice.
So, yes. Over on Nitro, we have High Voltage versus the Amazing French Canadians.
Yeah. High
Good
voltage. High voltage is High voltage never got enough credit. They didn't get enough credit.
It was like if they would have had a better entrance, because their entrance was a little weird.
Yeah.
Maybe
they were
better
PG
gimmick.
enough.
They were no Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom, but I mean, they were close.
So this one goes to a no contest in order to further push a storyline that nobody cares about. The Nasty Boys run to the ring, and the Amazing French Canadians are smart enough to take off. But High Voltage, they feel the wrath of the Nasties. Nasty Boys kick the shit out of High Voltage and then get on the mic. And a couple weeks ago, they came out to the ring with the NWO wearing NWO shirts. And they did. They got in the ring and complained about not having a limo and getting paid enough. And Hogan just looks at him and says, don't wear our colors unless we tell you to. And the NWO beat him up after doing Hogan a favor that it never showed. Like literally, this is the most like, it's like movies today. All of the interesting parts you don't get to see on TV. You just see all the in between. Like, okay, well, what favor did they do for you, Hogan? Not important.
Yeah. It's like
So,
J.J.
yeah.
Abrams writing.
Yeah, exactly.
Mystery
Oh God,
box.
I fucking hated that. They did that so
Mystery
many
box.
damn times.
Well, it's the exact opposite of show, don't tell.
Yep.
It's It's like the new thing in Hollywood for some reason. Oh, right, because they're all creative hacks.
They're too busy, touching. Yeah, young Gash.
Yeah.
Get off that ride.
So the Nasty Boys get on the mic, say that they say that Hogan handed them those NWO shirts backstage before they came out that night. And he said, put them on, brothers, come down to the ring. And the Nasty Boys say, look, and we all know how that turned out. But they're like, that's fine. Sting don't need to belong. Piper doesn't need to belong. And neither do the Nasty Boys. They don't have to be NWO or WCW, and they don't have to be liked. But they are nasty, and they were Nasty Gash before the NWO was even a thought. So...
Oh, yeah, the Nasty Boys. Just what I wanted.
Yeah. So they were WCW. They were here before WCW was a thought, they were born nasty. So, like Mike Buffer would say, let's get ready to rumble.
That's Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Because I love a good Nasty Boys promo. So
Yeah, I think everybody does, right?
yeah. So next up on Raw, we get Crush with Clarence Mason. And he defeats Aldo Montoya via the Heart Punch in 2 minutes 41 seconds.
You know, they could have done so much more with Crush, and they just like dropped the fucking ball with that guy completely.
Yep.
Because he had presence in the ring, but they didn't know what the fuck to do with him, and like that gimmick just went out the window. That whole he went to prison. He's a felon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, good news is he gets a little love, after this match. I thought it was Savio Vega at first. There's just a random security guard like hanging over the railing on the other side of the railing watching the audience. And Crush just pulls his ass over and beats the shit out of him for some reason. So they're trying to give him a little push right now, but I guess we all know how that's going to turn out,
Yeah, sadly. It's like they were confused. And then you already have the crazy redneck who's going to do anything. So to have like a crazy felon and his trigger words is, they pointed out that he was arrested or something like that. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
For as much, because it kind of reminds me of Bradshaw, like same with Crush, it could have went either way. Too bad Bradshaw being like the rich asshole, like elitist Texan, wasn't more of that when Austin was around. Because I wasn't a big fan of the JBL character, but that would have meshed well, I think.
I wasn't a fan of the Hollywood one.
Or
the Texas one. I liked him better when he was part of the APA.
Yeah, same here. But would there not be a more perfect representative for Mr. McMahon than JBL,
Yes.
Yeah. So during this match, we actually hear from the former Intercontinental Champion Mark Merrow. First time hearing from him since the Perfect Hoax last week when he lost his title. And Merrow calls in and bitches that he's reached the height of his WWF relevancy. Now Hunter raped him of the Intercontinental title. So Jerry Lawler teases Merrow, stating the only reason they got close is because Mr. Perfect got close to Sable, but Merrow reports that the last thing his wife is into is dominant blonde athletes. So that was awesome. Yeah. So then we take a look back at the Perfect Hoax from last week, and we learn that Gorilla Monsoon has suspended Mr. Perfect over his deception. So over on Nitro, Rey Mysterio Jr. defeats Etep's boy, the ghost of Jimmy Graffiti.
Jimmy Graffiti, baby, it's me, the daddy of the Tiger King himself. I don't know why I sound like Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream Daddy, but please believe, look at Jimmy Graffiti's teeth, even the fact that I'm a ghost. I've been living hard times, baby. Hard times, daddy.
His teeth are hard times.
God damn, that's really good.
Jimmy Graffiti, baby.
I don't know how they put me over. They didn't put me over. Look at me. I got the face of a champion. This the poster boy for the company. But no. They decide to put the little guy over on me to wear the mask, daddy. This is bullshit.
So,
Jimmy Graffiti don't play that shit.
See, you forget how far wrestling has come, because for me, a Hurricane Rana is a Hurricane Rana.
Yep.
But back then, it was such a big deal. Like, Rey Mysterio wins this in 3 minutes, 24 seconds with the springboard Hurricane Rana, which now, like, what did we see the other night? A fucking springboard 450 splash? Like,
yeah. Who did that? I forget.
Pac.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
The bastard.
Yeah, the bastard.
He's so much better in AEW, the bastard Pac. It's so much better than Neville.
Yeah.
I don't even remember him.
We need a dominant name. How about Neville?
Neville.
The asshole from Harry Potter? Like,
the only other Neville I know was from I Am Legend, his stupid neighbor.
Mm.
The guy was kind of tormenting him.
I didn't even remember that, but yeah, sure.
That's about it. Well, again, not the shitty Will Smith one, the actual book.
Never read the book.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, the book was fantastic. Schwarzenegger was supposed to do it.
I heard the book was really good.
Yeah. And it's short too. It was like 3 different stories in there, including there's one that Child's Play ripped off of in there. The doll that came to life.
Aren't they in I Am Legend? Aren't they more like vampires than they are?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they're vampires.
Yeah.
That's because that's based on that's like a twist on the Omega Man, right?
Omega Man was actually that was the first adaptation of the book.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. And the Will Smith movie, they just fucked it up. I like that they moved it to New York, and then everything else was shit.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be in California.
Glenzer, I bet when Ron Perlman heard that Nash scored the role of the Russian in the Thomas Jane Punisher, he's like, "What? You're a professional wrestler. You're taking work from us Hollywood actors."
Nash promptly blew a quad and fell over.
Goddamn.
Yeah,
should have been the Russian.
He was taking all our roles.
Taken over by the gash.
When I get my monies from all these films, I go to Disney World.
This is bow to the Foot Clan of
It's
my
a
foot.
small world.
You sick son of a bitch! Oh boy!
You see Ron Perlman just spinning around on the teacups. Like, what are you doing, dude?
I'm looking for gash in all directions.
Hail 24 Eyes.
He's like, I got a 360 view this way.
Hail 24 Eyes. It's great to see you, brother. Thank you for joining us.
If I had 24 eyes, I could see all the young gash.
Jesus. So, yeah, Rey Mysterio defeats Jimmy Graffiti with the springboard Hurricane Rana. The fucking commentators are going nuts again. You know, the Hurricane Rana is like the coolest move they've seen at this point. And Ray says into the camera, he yells into the camera after the match that hurt last night. He dropped the title. That fucking hurt. But he promises the cruiserweight title will be around his waist again. So, yeah. Looks like
Ray.
He's where and I can't wait for next year's Halloween Havoc with Rey Mysterio. Him and Eddie Guerrero have they put on a clinic. They put on a really good match. So, back over to Raw next week, live from his home. Brian Pillman will address Steve Austin, putting him out of action on Superstars. Yeah, so I think that's a legendary episode. I mean, I think we're all looking forward to that. So,
oh yeah,
fuck, I can't wait. So,
I remember watching that live, dude, and then going to work and talking with all the guys about what we just watched.
Hell yeah, it's crazy. Like that was okay. So they hadn't really seen anything quite like the NWO, at least American audiences. When that happened and Hogan turning heel and like you never thought you'd see it, but this is kind of that moment for WWF. Like, and I don't think there's been a moment like that since, other than, you know, Boss Man feeding Al Snow his dog, but this was a lot cooler. It's a lot cooler. So Austin is backstage and asks, what do they mean live from Pillman's home? WWF will go to Pillman's home. They'll go to Brett's home. Why not go down to Victoria, Texas and go to Austin's home? Vince attempts to interject, but Stone Cold tells him to shut up. And if anyone's going to Pillman's house next week, if they're going to throw a little party for that crippled freak, you can damn well bet that Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be there, and that's the bottom line. Then they replay Austin breaking Pillman's ankle yesterday on Superstars before they tried to put Pillman in the ambulance, and Austin showed back up and ripped the keys out of the one of the EMT's hands, and he throws the ambulance keys so he can keep kicking Brian Pillman's ass. And Vince asks Austin, what kind of man would do that? What kind of man would show up next week at Pillman's house? He's supposed to be your friend, Stone Cold.
Mm-hmm.
And then Austin says it for the first time. He says that Pillman forgot DTA, don't trust anybody. Pillman thought Austin was his friend, but Pillman was only a puppet. And Vince, starts, well, I'm surprised Gorilla Monsoon didn't suspend you. And Austin tells Vince that Gorilla Monsoon's a puppet too, that Vince is the real man in charge, and he's a greedy promoter, and he wants that money from Austin versus Bret Hart. So he tells Vince, stop asking stupid questions, and challenges him. He's like, do something.
Mm-hmm.
But
pulling that curtain.
Yeah. He's like, you want to get rich off the match of the decade, Austin versus Bret Hart. So it's really, this match is, I'm looking forward to it already. WWF, like I said last week, like halfway through the show, they flipped a switch, and they've been on fire since. So good job for them.
Mm-hmm.
And even though they're losing rating wise, you can see why when there's that much more, wrestling on the other side, even with just 45 minutes to, almost a full 2 hours. I mean, you're already at a disadvantage for the WWF. Not to mention creative shit.
Yeah.
But
it's like, I don't know. Nitro wasn't horrible tonight, but it kind of makes you wonder what they're thinking when it's like, okay, WWF is pre-taped and they're kind of kicking your ass tonight. So far.
And it felt lackluster for after being Halloween Havoc too.
Yeah. And now here I'll give WCW the benefit. They had the better wrestling, even though Raw had a couple good matches too, but WCW definitely had the better wrestling tonight. But
definitely.
So over on WCW, Chris Benoit with Woman defeats Eddie Guerrero, and they're both kind of injured from last week, but they had their bandages on, or not last week, but last night at Halloween Havoc. Eddie Guerrero injured his ribs wrestling against DDP. So during this match, Steve McMichael jumps into the ring and smashes Eddie Guerrero's already injured ribs with the Halliburton. And
take that, Eddie.
Yeah, motherfucker. I was going to make a pills and alcohol joke, but I really like Eddie.
I do too. Make the joke anyway.
You don't know how good it felt when he died and everyone was fucking, oh, well, he's back on drugs. He's back on drugs. And then that fucking toxicity report came back and dude was clean. It was damaged from that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, years and years of steroids and cocaine.
The vessels shrunk in his heart due to the drug abuse. But then he had gotten really big at that time. So his heart was kind of enlarged while the vessels had shrunk. And
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
so
a whole super situation.
So proud of that guy because everyone's like, oh, it must be drugs because he was only 36 or 38 or whatever.
He was
38.
He was having bouts that he was just blacking out.
Yeah.
Like for weeks prior to that, and they just thought he wasn't feeling good or he ate something bad. It's because his heart couldn't take all that every time he worked out. Everything he was doing, the man was walking death, and that's the sad fucking thing about it.
Yeah.
That he cleaned himself up, he found God again, all that stuff. He was, doing great, and then
at least he got his shit in order before he went.
Yeah.
So yeah, he that Halliburton smash was good for the win. Chris Benoit covers Eddie Guerrero, gets the 1-2-3 in 8 minutes 23 seconds. Always a good match with Eddie Guerrero and Benoit.
They
always
work
a good
stiff
match.
too. Their moves are crisp.
You know, but they're friends, you know, they fucking love each other, so they can go out there and have that kind of match. And so, here's Draven's favorite part. Tony Schiavone is on the ramp with Nick Patrick and his attorney, Alan Sharp, who looked like Dr. Fauci. Like, not in every scene, but in certain scenes, like, he would, let me see if I can find a picture of him. In certain scenes, like when he was looking off to the side and shit, he looked like Fauci. It was really weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it was like when I first saw him, like, what the fuck? Yeah, there's not a. I should have taken a picture of him.
I can look for one.
Yeah. I'm like Tony when it first showed him. So, yeah, so he's out there with Nick Patrick and Alan Sharp. Tony Schiavone is, and Sharp says that Patrick is a good referee who's been unfairly questioned after that Hollywood Hogan Randy Savage match. For those that don't remember, Savage had the match won at Halloween Havoc. Nick Patrick made the 2 count and went to do the 3rd count, and he suddenly got a neck pain and had to grab his neck, you know, and earlier in the night, Jericho had actually brutally attacked Nick Patrick, which furthered his injury that was caused by Randy Savage a few weeks ago. So that's why Nick Patrick couldn't make the 3 count. So Jericho comes out. Classic Jericho. Like, he's newer back then, but his promo here was as good as any of his promos. He comes out and says there's nothing wrong with Patrick's neck, and that Nick Patrick is a paid employee of the NWO and everyone knows it. Then Alan Sharp, the attorney, questions if Jericho has anger issues and if Jericho had issues.
What's his name? Alan Sharp?
Yeah. Asks, I think he's just a one-off too. He's probably a Turner exec or something. But the attorney questions if Jericho had issues playing with other children when he was younger. So Teddy Long comes out now. Now it's just a fucking random shit show. You've got Siobhani, Nick Patrick, Alan Sharp, Chris Jericho, and Teddy Long. Like, talk about money. This should have been the NWO. So Teddy Long comes out and calls Sharp a scam artist. Teddy Long says Nick Patrick is sandbagging his talents, which it's like, dude, you're the one fucking distracting him in the middle of the match, Teddy. Dickhead.
Mm-hmm. Again, Teddy Long is retarded, so
yeah.
That.
Like, that was straight up on Teddy Long tonight with fucking Jim Powers. Like, he's trying to make the tag and you pulled Nick Patrick's attention away, motherfucker. So, Nick Patrick's attorney calls all this slander. And that's basically the end of the promo. So
yeah, here's a picture, sort of. You can't really see it front; it's a side view. But there's his.
Yeah, it's Fauci right there.
Mm-hmm. You're wrong.
It's Fauci.
Teddy Long being all fat and Teddy Long like.
Let me holler at the player. I'm white Teddy Long.
Look, from right to left.
Shivani's just like, what the fuck is going on?
From right to left, you've got Eric Swalwell, Colin Powell, skip over Shivani, and you've got Fauci and James Comey in the next place.
Unbelievable.
It's the wizard. It's the wizard.
And don't forget me, I'm always watching.
Yeah, damn.
I guess Shivani could be Adam Schiff. I don't know. He doesn't really have the crazy eyes, but so.
No, Shivani doesn't have Adam Schiff eyes.
Yes. So, over on WWF Raw, Sonny, the Smoking Guns former manager, joins commentary team. Really gross. She starts kissing on Jerry Lawler, and he's like, "Oh yeah, kiss me here," and they're just showing it over and over. But we cut to a looks like, I wonder if they have superstars on the fucking Peacock, because it looks like all the good shit's happening on Superstars. First, Austin puts Pillman out, And then Billy and Bart Gunn started having problems on Superstars yesterday.
Yep.
They've been having problems, but it came to a head. They started pushing each other, and then Billy abandoned Bart during the match, so left Bart out there alone. So tonight, Billy Gunn in a solo match defeats Freddie Joe Floyd via a flying leg drop. In about 3
I can't
minutes.
believe he beat my daddy, baby.
Freddie Joe. So
my daddy, Freddie Joe Floyd.
Freddie Joe Fentanyl. There we go.
Freddie Joe Fentanyl Floyd, my great-great-grandpappy.
During the match, Bart Gunn does come out and argues with Billy Gunn and tries to fight him, but referees getting between the two. Don't know how it got brought up either, but Jerry Lawler said something about the Clintons, and Sonny says she loves Hillary Clinton, and she thinks Hillary is going to be the next president. And it's funny because this is 96, and to think of what's going to be happening at the end of October 2016, like exactly 20 years from then. But yeah,
Yep.
God heard that, and he cursed Sonny with being a fat alcoholic who killed a dude.
Yeah.
So
this one time at Man Camp.
Yes.
Yep.
So now Bret Hart joins us live from his home, and Vince asks if Bret took so long to come back to the WWF because of Austin's challenge to him. Kind of implying like maybe you were a little worried about coming back, but Bret says that wasn't it at all. He had basically been going for 12 years without a break, fighting giants, fighting masters of the ring, and all that took its toll. So Bret calls Stone Cold a great wrestler, and he's tough, but he had nothing to do with Bret's decision to step back from wrestling for a little while there. Austin cuts in and says that, loosely translated, Bret was afraid to come back and get his ass whooped by Stone Cold. Bret says he doesn't know if Austin has what it takes to kick his ass. Bret's rested, he's recuperated, and he's ready for a fight. Vince asks Bret about ring rust, and perhaps Bret should have taken a match. See, it's lines like this. He says, perhaps you should have taken a match with a lesser individual than Stone Cold. They're really starting to get some wind behind Austin's sails here. Bret says, what better way to come back than to defeat the best wrestler on the roster, which is Austin. Vince claims Austin wants to live off Bret's reputation, and Bret's willing to accept, look, whatever happens in the match, if Bret comes up short, he will get back on the horse and keep riding. So Austin cuts off Bret again and says that Bret just doesn't get it. It doesn't matter win, lose, or draw. You're never getting rid of Stone Cold. Austin is going to stay on your ass. Austin says he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And Bret will find that out firsthand, son. Vince asks Bret a question here, and as soon as Bret starts to respond, and you could see Bret was perturbed. As soon as Bret starts to respond, Vince is like, actually, we got to go, Bret. We got to go to commercial, and completely fucking cuts the guy off. So Bret looks a little perturbed, but then Austin says he's been waiting all night for this, and they can tell Bret to kiss off, but Austin ain't going nowhere. You're not counting me down. So he then starts attacking the production assistant who was on the other side of the camera with the cameraman. And Austin shouts again that nobody counts him down, and they're not finished by a long shot. And Austin begins to smash monitors and production equipment, and then pushes a big ladder down on the production assistant who was already laying kind of beaten on the floor. So very Stone Cold heavy Raw tonight. And it's not over yet. So we go over to Nitro for our main event of the evening over there. Booker T with Sister Sherry defeats Lex Luger via countout. And this wasn't a bad match. Like, I didn't see Booker T as a main eventer back then, but going back and watching this now, I mean, he really carried himself in the ring like a star.
He outgrew the tag team a while ago. as it were, before he got a singles run.
Yep.
But they were so good in the tag team format. You know, they're brothers. They know each other inside and out. They were a fire tag team. But yeah, he could carry a singles match well, always though. That's Booker,
like he
man.
held his own against the total package, and he looked like he belonged.
Yeah,
he really did. So, and he wins this match via countout because for the second time tonight, we see the actual Crow Sting, and Sting is in the audience staring at his and he's not in the rafters this time. He's like where the NWO's been showing up all night. So it really puts off the perception that, maybe he is NWO. And he's just staring a hole in his best friend.
Yeah.
He's just fucking angrily like staring at Lex Luger. So
the guy he's defended when the rest of us were like, round him up.
Yep. So Lexi is quite upsetty and hops the barricade to confront his friend, but gets to where Sting was and says, "Hey, he left me," as Sting was nowhere to be found. Sad times. Heartbreaking.
He's the Crow. He's waiting for his vengeance.
Yeah. No. Lex, he tries to run after Sting, and by the time he gets up there, Sting's gone. So still nobody knows what Sting's intentions are. Over on Raw, our main event is a non-title match. WWF Champion Shawn Michaels with who, Etep?
Jose Lothario, baby.
Fuck yeah.
Who's in this area is HBK coming to the room right now.
Shawn Michaels, the Pussy Slayer Jose.
God damn. He's so fat I didn't even understand what he said.
I said the side.
You're getting cholesterol in my ears.
I just say everything that I have fat cousins.
Oh god.
WWF Champion Shawn Michaels with Jose Lothario versus Davey Boy Smith with Clarence Mason. Now, as British Bulldog comes down for the main event, we go backstage to Stone Cold again, and he's slapping around one of the arena security guards and punking him. He's mad he got cut off. And during this, Owen Hart, British Bulldogs co-tag champion, joins the commentary team. So this was kind of funny too, because Owen had his title, he had a Slammy award, and then out comes Shawn Michaels, who's doing his whole flashy entrance. And Owen's like, he's just sitting there with his title and his fucking award, like, you don't ever see me bragging.
Dude, the commentary that Owen did was just superb.
Yeah.
I loved it. I just I forgot how much I missed that, because when he's sitting there doing it, exactly just like, well, I would never do this. Don't talk about my brother. That'll make me sick to my loser brother, Brett. It's just like, oh my goodness.
He brought the sweet and sour with him tonight. Yeah. That fucking nugget brought the sweet and sour. It was good shit.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I want that sauce, Morty. I want that sauce, Corny. I want that sauce.
That's why, Sean.
I just had a heart attack thinking about the Szechuan sauce, Morty.
You had a heart attack thinking about the Szechuan sauce.
Thanks for translating.
Sure.
It rejuvenated me.
It rejuvenated him.
Buy a bottle of teriyaki sauce, you pricks.
And he's spot on. He's spot on.
I told you, I have fat cousins in New York.
That's so good.
Vinny's like, I speak fat. I know.
Like some people, they can understand and speak Slytherin. I can speak fat.
Oh my.
So, Shawn Michaels and Davey Boy Smith. It actually, Shawn Michaels wins this one via DQ in a pretty good match. 11 minutes, 20 seconds. Pretty long main event. But Owen gets fed up on commentary, so he runs around to the ring, grabs Shawn Michaels' ankle, and allows Davey Boy Smith to recover and start beating on Shawn. The ref sees it, and he calls for the bell, but they team up on HBK. So out comes Psycho Sid, but while he's fighting the heels off, he accidentally elbows Michaels in the head. Notice that only happens when two friends have to wrestle each other. Every other time they have each other's back, they're fine, but
yeah.
Yeah.
That extra thrown elbow at that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like his bone broke through the skin and he stabbed HBK. Like, nasty shit.
HBK.
It's in my contract. After I've been with Pat Patterson, nobody sprays it into my eye anymore.
Uh-oh.
Somebody say Gish.
Oh, they said Pat Patterson.
I heard something about spraying in somebody's eye.
Goddamn.
Very reminiscent of Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Just thinking about Psycho Sid and Pat Patterson together.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of Twins. It's here for Keely Chow. It's the Twins porn parody, bro.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, Owen gets on the mic. Okay, so first off, Sid accidentally elbows Michaels. Shawn takes it personal, and they kind of get in each other's faces for a minute. But then Owen gets on the mic and says he wants to challenge HBK and Sid, and they'll put their tag titles on the line, him and Bulldog, to get that match. So British Bulldog starts screaming something off the mic. I just heard bangers and elf mounds. That's all I could make out.
Some bangers and mish.
Let me title shot. I won't be title shot.
Yep.
It's like,
I want me title short.
yes.
Enemy preparation H.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was getting either.
At least he doesn't have the dreads yet.
Yeah.
Was it, what did Cornette say to Michaels? You're trying to turn Davy's wife into some kind of some fornicator.
Fornicator.
So here's the big deal, okay? A few months ago, Raw would have went off the air like this. We're challenging you. We're challenging Sid. We want a match, and we'll put our titles on the line. And then Vince would, Sid and Michaels are going to have to team up when they're wrestling together at the pay-per-view. What's going to happen? And it would go off the air. It would go off the air.
Yeah.
Not tonight. Not tonight. Instead, we go backstage, and security is attempting to eject Steve Austin from the arena. Steve yells at the security guard that he's untouchable because of Vince McMahon. He's basically paying himself off like he's the golden goose, you know, laying the golden eggs. And he eventually leaves the arena on his own accord. So he opens the door, and the police have the entrance surrounded, and they start rushing Steve Austin, and Raw goes off the air. Perfect ending for everything that happened tonight. And that's how Raw didn't go off hyping the main event for Survivor Series or with the WWF Champion. Raw went off the air with Stone Cold Steve Austin after featuring him basically on every in-between segment. Like in between the matches, it was Austin all night long. Good shit. And how they hyped stuff back then, we probably won't get. We might get one more week kind of like this between him and Brett before the pay-per-view, but he'll probably not even be on next week. Well, it's going to be 2 hours, so maybe. I think it's going to be 2 hours. So I know they start an hour earlier, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want to go up against Nitro's second hour. I don't know. So Nitro's final segment, we had the main event already, but Hogan demanded some time on the mic tonight to address the Piper situation. And not only that, but because the promo had to cut off early last night at the pay-per-view, they promised you a full, unedited look at the promo.
Yeah.
Now, did we get that, Draven? Did we get that, Adam?
No.
Mm-mm.
Instead, we got to watch even less than what was on the pay-per-view. Like, they cut
Yep.
off during shit we'd already seen. Like,
Mhm.
why didn't you just play what happened afterwards then, you
Yep.
fucking dickhead? Rob Lowe-looking motherfucker. Bischoff, you lying piece of shit. So...
Does kind of look like Rob Lowe.
Fuck Eric Bischoff too. Fuck him, but not as much as shit stain.
I remember when I first saw Bischoff, I'm like, he
Well,
looks like
that's what Cornette calls him.
I thought he looked like the dude from Wayne's World when I first saw Bischoff.
Yeah.
So
Mike Myers.
I thought he looked like a dickhead, man. He was just a little prick.
I always just thought he looked like a little fucking weasel, man. I at least liked it. I'm like, there's just something about that cat.
I liked Bischoff. I did.
Oh, fucking
You know,
Tony Khan, like, fucking did a shoot thing on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guess he was saying how...
Tony Khan is soy.
Yeah, he is very soy.
He's a fucking...
He
bundle.
basically said how CM Punk, like, basically is costing AEW money. And basically, he, like, told him off in that Scrim interview after the Double or Nothing.
He told, Bischoff said CM Punk is costing. No offense, he kind of is. Like
A little bit, but apparently that's not what the numbers are saying from what Tony Khan is,
Well,
Yeah, I
he
was
spends
excited
most of
when
that
I
on,
heard
but
that.
but Tony Khan spends most of their profits on coke. So
Right.
This dude is so
Making
soy.
the next Sunny.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my
allegedly in Grand Theft Auto. Yeah, this guy's basically a bundle
And
of.
and then after
yeah.
CM Punk talked, and he's basically people like that needed to just go in the
He's doing soy
corner and basically die off.
He's literally like gonna finish somebody off.
Yep.
Right after someone else gets them behind the dumpster. Humble. And then Tony Khan comes by and he's like,
Well, that's his dad right there.
Like
On
someone misgendered him.
You come around the dumpster and you say,
The one with the red
party.
Cardinals background.
Well, look, he looks like Rachel Maddow in that
That's his
picture with the
dad.
glasses.
Saddam Hussein.
That's his dad.
Gee, that's Saddam Hussein.
That is his dad.
That is.
It does look like him.
Like, imagine you
But that's his
you
dad.
wouldn't think this would be Saddam's son, but he's fucking soy. He's fucking soy. Like, I'm sorry, but like for all of Vince's quirks, he was a man.
Mm-hmm.
He was a
Yeah.
man's man. And he's
Yep.
still more of a man right
who
here.
loves
in his-
man? And the referees.
I mean, who would you rather have in a fight, Even at his age now, Vince McMahon or this fucking guy?
Oh, I'm going with Vince.
Oh yeah, Vince.
Just saying. So, yeah. We get the promo cut off on Nitro. On parts that we had already seen, so nothing new. But then Hogan makes his way out onto the Nitro set to discuss what had happened last night between him and Piper, and he's joined by Ted DiBiase and Vincent. So Hogan calls himself the John Wayne of the 90s, and that he told everyone what was going to happen to the WCW. There is no question that NWO is the superior body in the wrestling business. They have conquered and they have won. First off, the Nacho Man, Randy Savage, because they use Vince's insults for fun over on WCW.
Oh, yeah.
That's how far they're ahead they are right now. First off, the Nacho Man, Randy Savage, if you're watching from your hospital bed, Hollywood has nothing but the utmost respect for you. The cross you had to bear of the entire WCW being on your back, But still, Macho couldn't get the job done. But Hogan will take real good care of Elizabeth for Randy. If there was ever any question who the superstar of the 90s is, it was only proved when Roddy Piper came out and was man enough to admit that he always idolized Hulk Hogan and he couldn't lace Hogan's boots. Piper then turned his skirt and ran. Hollywood's going to party with the Giant, and he's going to party with the new champs, the Outsiders. Then DiBiase gets on the mic and brags about them having the world title, the tag title, the U.S. title. So then the bagpipes hit, and fucking Roddy Piper comes out on the fucking stage with his fucking monster truck, and he fucking runs it down the fucking ramp and just smashes into the Nitro ring, and he fucking jumps out onto the hood, hops across, and starts beating Hogan's ass. Fucking gets up, knocks DiBiase out of the ring. He fucking puts Vincent in a sleeper and then throws him over the ropes. So the rest of the NWO come out and they finally fucking beat him down, but he went down swinging the whole time. No, that didn't happen.
That sounds fucking awesome.
DiBiase gets on the mic, brags about them having the titles, and then Hogan flexes and dances in the ring like Shawn fucking Michaels, and the show goes off the air.
Yep.
No Roddy Piper.
Lame.
Like,
what a
Yes, what you came up with, Tony, would have been way better.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
I can't stand what they did with Piper on fucking WCW. They made a joke out of him.
Well, he'll be the commissioner. No, fucking have him in there kicking people's asses, dude. Yeah.
Everyone loves Roddy, and you don't want to fucking push him over. Give him one last good payday. What a bunch
Roddy be Roddy, man.
That's Hulk for you.
Yep, it was all Hogan politicking in the back, though. That's the thing, you know.
I know. He's a piece of shit, and they had the balls to be like, yeah, brother. Like we should have had, you should have let me beat you, and then I could, then you could beat me, and then we'd make so much money.
Yep.
Which turns into the Shawn Michaels situation. That's why, like, if you guys aren't familiar, check out SummerSlam 2005. There's a lot of videos on it where in their match, Shawn is just overselling everything to it. I mean, ridiculous, like, looked like a cartoon amount. And you could see Hogan getting pissed in the ring, but it's because they're supposed to have a trilogy of matches, brother. And I'll beat you, and then you can beat me, and then I'll come back and beat you in the third one. Shawn's like, okay. He's like, cool. They fucking set it up. Then Hogan's like, I don't want to wrestle him a second time. I just want to beat him, and then that's it. So Shawn was pissed, like, fuck you, dude. So he went out there and kind of made a mockery of Hogan in the only way he really could. So
I approve it.
Yeah, so same thing here. He always says that in the fucking interview. I don't know why Randy was mad at me. I don't know what I did. It's like,
you fucked Elizabeth and you fucked his career.
Yeah. And it's exactly like, I'll fuck her and then you get to fuck her and then I'll fuck her again. But then only he fucks her.
But then everybody fucks
and
everybody hits the gash. Lex destroyed the gash.
He put it on the torture rack.
Yeah. He gave her fentanyl and coke.
R.I.P. Elizabeth.
R.I.P. indeed.
Hanging out with Carrie Fisher, just floating through space using the Force together.
That's it.
God damn.
Yes.
Well, I wonder if maybe I shouldn't say that.
What?
I was gonna say, I wonder if Savage he has it locked up somewhere in a cloud of her own. You're not allowed to go anywhere until I get back.
Remember what happened last time when we were alive? Yeah, fuck that shit.
Oh yeah, Elizabeth, I saw what you did with the total package after I died. Oh yeah, you think it's funny, huh? You think it's funny to fuck Lex Luger, huh? You think it's funny to have that little steroid-induced micro penis up inside your guts where I spent so many years? It's not funny, Elizabeth. Oh, no. Not one little bit. Not even a fucking iota. You think I'm not gonna go crazy, lose my mind over this? Oh, yeah. The madness is centered right now, Elizabeth, and I'm coming for you. I'm gonna climb up to the top of that cloud, and I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna look down on you, and I'm gonna see you sitting there lonely on that cloud. And I'm gonna drop the elbow and knock you all the way to hell. Oh, yeah, Elizabeth.
Damn.
His Twinkie didn't work from all the drugs.
Cocaine is kind of a drug.
Like, I figure he's like, now that Bob Saget's up there, he's like, yeah, double lock that cloud.
He's like, hey, Bob, you ever hear the one about me fucking Stephanie McMahon? Oh, yeah.
That's why I didn't get a Hall of Fame.
God damn.
Jeez. Gilbert Godfrey standing somewhere jerking it, laughing at them.
Norm.
And
I just
Larry
watched
Anderson. Don't forget Larry Anderson.
Yeah, I just watched his special that he did for Netflix like before he passed.
Louis?
Louis.
No, Norm.
Oh, Norm, no. Oh, I didn't know he did one before he passed.
Yep, they have it
I'll check that out.
on Netflix, and then afterwards,
Norm.
Chappelle, Sandler, Spade, Conan, and Letterman, and then I forget the girl's name. Molly Shannon, I think.
Yeah.
Talk about him.
Yeah, Norm had the best, like, when they were really heavy into those Comedy Central roasts, like, Norm would have the best ones.
Mm-hmm.
The best ones. I fucking love Norm Macdonald.
He was awesome. His movie was fantastic, too. Dirty Work?
Yeah, Dirty Work, yeah.
That shit was great. And Artie Lang, I don't know how Artie Lang's still alive, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, all the coke that guy's been on and everything else. Holy shit.
Yeah,
He snorted broken glass with his coke. He didn't realize his hook. That's why his nose looks like it does.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did you hear the, he told it on Howard Stern, like, years ago, but, okay, he was on Mad TV, and they were doing some skit where he was dressed up as a pig, and he had to spend, like, hours in the prosthetics booth and the fucking makeup, you know, getting it all fucking perfected, but he was also out of coke and, like, trying to score some, so he finally does, but dude is across town. They're in LA, you know?
Yeah.
Dude's across town, so he's got... Yeah, he meets the guy, and then he's driving back to the set. He told him that he'd be back in like 20 minutes, and it's been like an hour and a half. And he's going down the 405 trying to snort some coke in his car on the way there.
With the makeup on and everything.
Yeah, then he realized he's got the prosthetic snout on, and he can't. So he was like, he had already spent hours in the chair, and he just fucking rips a hole, like, right in the bottom of the snout so he can snort the coke. And
damn.
Didn't he get pulled over too?
I thought he did.
Maybe. I just remember
guy.
They were talking about like the fucking what you'd be thinking driving on the freeway and you look over and there's a 6-foot pig doing lines while driving down the freeway.
Bumps of coke and shit.
I feel like that was some good ass weed.
If you guys ever want to do yourself a favor, you have to look up on YouTube. I don't know if it's still there. Artie Lang and Gilbert Godfrey, they had maybe 2 or 3 podcasts they did together. They are the funniest fucking thing that's on the internet.
That's awesome.
The funniest thing. They talked about when they were at Howard Stern, the 3 things you're not allowed to say, and they start off with it, and they don't stop. They repeat it like for fucking 10 to 20 minutes. Holy shit. It was the bag of sticks. It was a racial slur. And what was the other one? Oh my God, dude. Absolutely hilarious.
That's awesome. I got to hear that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, and Johnny Cage, you're right. Bischoff paid what, $40 million for the Kiss Demon?
Yeah.
The hell is he talking? I know it's like it's pure marketing for Kiss, and he had a main event, a pay-per-view with the fucking Kiss team.
Well, they worked around that in a very creative way, though.
Yeah, but still, like, why would
They
you? This is
dude, it was Bischoff was a Kiss fan, bro.
Hogan or Bischoff was a really, really bad negotiator between Hogan's contract and Nash and Hall. They had to make at least as much as the highest paid athlete. So if they make X amount and someone comes in, then they get to make this amount. And Hogan full creative control, and then fucking Kiss. Like, dude, you're not very savvy at business.
They had an escalation clause in their contract. That was fucking smart on their part to negotiate it in. Stupid on him for letting them get away with it. Absolutely.
Well, it wasn't his money. It was Teddy's money, and that's what I thought to be hilarious. You know, a motherfucker actually is part of the New World Order, the real one.
Yeah, when he went to the offices that weren't on Time Warner's thing. That's when like nobody was really watching him. And his spending, so that's why everything went to shit.
Hi, I'm Ted Turner. In between Jane Fonda and Eric Bischoff, they cost me a lot of money. Almost as much as buying Casablanca and the moon.
Casablanca.
What are we doing for Christmas, Ted?
We're going to watch 24 hours of A Christmas Story. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to sit there and watch it with Hanoi Jane while I suffocate her with a pillow.
That was such a crazy Christmas when I worked in the fucking strip club and we had like a bare bones staff. And okay, so the night before, like the Wednesday night going into Thursday morning of Thanksgiving, it's usually pretty good, especially, you know, with illegal immigrants and people who don't really, you know, celebrate Thanksgiving, you know. So Christmas Eve going into Christmas morning, bunch of strippers just happened to show up. You know, I wasn't expecting like maybe 2 or 3 girls that night, but a bunch showed up. But but it was dead as fuck.
Christmas miracle.
Yeah. It was dead as fuck. So like we had TVs in the club because any music we played had the music video along with it, you know? So there were like fucking 8 TVs in the club. So we just put on A Christmas Story and we all just sat there. I fucking mixed it in with the music on the soundboard. And we just fucking watched A Christmas Story. And that was our night.
Nice.
Thank you, Ted.
You're welcome.
It's better than ShamWow infomercials. So
look here, I didn't think you wanted to see Vince get bit by a hooker in the ShamWow ad or Billy Mays get hit in the head and die.
So the Survivor Series pay-per-view, the card so far, of course, we have the WWF Championship, Shawn Michaels defending against Psycho Sid. Spoiler alert, he loses, Michaels.
Oh, son of a bitch.
We also have Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart. This is going to start off quite a few matches between the two, which culminate at the famous WrestleMania 13 submission match where Austin's bleeding, refuses to tap out, he'll pass out, and you know, they basically switch spots, you know, and it kind of, they'll play it off on WWF like it was a natural progression. Like the fans started cheering Austin that night and booing Bret, but it was coming for a while, you know. It was more gradual than they'd like you to remember. And they definitely booked Bret as the heel that night and booked Austin as the face and spoke about them in such a way on commentary. And so, yeah, we're on the start of something important. And speaking of the start of something, you know, important, I'll give them that. We've got a Survivor Series match. You've got Team Triple H, which is Hunter, Goldust, Crush, and Jerry Lawler for some reason. I guess Aldo Montoya was busy. Versus Wildman Mark Merrow's team. And, you know, it's going to be Merrow on there, leading Mark Henry, the Stalker Barry Windham, and newcomer Rocky Maivia. So, championship match, then Austin and Bret Hart, and then Team Triple H versus Team Mark Marrow with the debut of The Rock. So, and it's funny, in 2 years he'll win his first WWF Championship, The Rock will. So, a very good pay-per-view. Survivor Series 98, the Deadly Game. I look at that as like the pinnacle of Vince Russo's success, was that Deadly Game tournament. It was very, very well done. Very just iconic pay-per-view, in my opinion. One of the best of the Attitude Eras. Definitely better than WrestleMania 15, in my opinion. The Raging Climax, if anyone remembers that, where they hang like Big Boss Man from the Hell in a Cell. And yeah. So, Draven says, y'all, all records show that CM Punk has done good for AEW pay-per-views. No, I just think he's a lot like he should definitely be a heel. Like, because he has kind of lost the step. Yeah.
I agree. They should make him heel and then have Kenny Omega take it back when he comes back.
See, and I don't like Kenny Omega much as a babyface, but I hadn't seen much of him as a babyface. He just didn't catch my eye in the same way he did as a heel.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that they'll probably, after a long absence, I'm sure he will be a babyface when he returns. It's just out of respect for the guy, you know?
Yeah, it'll be weird, though, because of him being part of the Elite. I don't know how they'll deal with that, with the Young Bucks and Adam Cole and all that shit.
Bring it back to The Rock. When the fans started cheering The Rock when he was first turning babyface, he was still a part of the Nation. So they distanced him for a few weeks, and then you had D'Lo and Mark Henry go out there like, you think you're better than us now. You don't have to be white to be a supremacist. And they beat up The Rock. Kicked him out of the Nation. Then the Nation became Stevie Ray NWO. Oh, those were dark times.
With Little Nugget.
Yes. So, Draven shared this article with me. AEW boss Tony Khan shoots on fucking bullshit CM Punk. See, soy. That's fucking
He does it all the time with negative comments.
That's fucking bullshit.
Even if they're not.
He's a bitch.
Even if they're legit or not legit, he like. Yeah.
I was sad when they took Bischoff off Raw as the general manager and the way they fired him. And hey, look, Malibu's Most Wanted wrote this. Sweet. Thank you, Jamie Kennedy. So the war of words between Tony Khan and Eric Bischoff may never stop. And let me say, Eric Bischoff is a good guy. Like, a friend of mine who I know through the World Class Bullshitters group, and he's working on his comic, Jeremy Peerboom, real good people. He was actually on a few. He was on the Force Awakens watch party where Jeff and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers were arguing about the Force Awakens. Do you remember that, Etep?
Vaguely.
Yeah, like fucking my buddy Jeremy was on there. Very good guy. Very good guy. He had something unfortunate happen to one of his pets, and he needed to start a GoFundMe. And Eric Bischoff, I guess, ended up following him from a few years before, whatever. I don't remember the whole story, but Bischoff shared out his GoFundMe. Like, really didn't have to do that, but you know, Bischoff is a good man. So, AEW boss Tony Khan responded to Bischoff's comments about CM Punk being the biggest financial flop in the history of wrestling during the post Double or Nothing 22 media scrum. Rather predictably, Tony had a fiery response to my own. Khan called Eric's words the most bullshit opinion I've ever heard. He then quickly followed that up by adding, "That's fucking bullshit." Oh, well, you can have his opinion.
It's funny because while this was happening, because I watched it, CM Punk is just sitting beside him like, what the fuck is happening?
Was he still crying?
No, he wasn't crying, but it was just funny because he was just there like, okay, take it easy there, buddy.
So explaining, Tony said that Bischoff's assessment was wrong because no one wrestler has ever come in and made a bigger plus delta, plus beta financial difference in the history of my company than Punk.
I'm calling bullshit on that one.
Yeah. So I'm sure they probably sold a lot of merchandise. Everyone wanted to get a CM Punk shirt. I won't doubt that. But the AEW chief then pointed to big ratings for Punk's debut on Rampage, which then dropped back down to normal in a few weeks. Debut on Rampage and the metrics for every pay-per-view he has appeared on to date. According to Khan, Punk has broken All Elite pay-per-view number records consecutively since his first showing at All Out last September. Bischoff has been critical of Punk since the ex-WWE man debuted in AEW. Eric has questioned just how valuable Punk is to All Elite's bottom line. Tony Khan says he's very valuable and didn't. Yeah, but what is he gonna say? I mean, I don't think he's as valuable as Tony Khan's making him, but having him return was a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think the initial sales were all right for him.
That's pretty much the article.
But I think that the whole situation now is a different story. I think it helped get eyes on the product and these other wrestlers, because just judging from what we saw the other night, thanks to Draven, that was a fun night, but we saw a lot of great wrestlers. The shittiest match of the night was CM Punk.
Yeah.
So that says a lot. I think people are just enjoying the product now because there's good talent there, and the storylines are pretty decent on what they're doing.
See, Cody Rhodes, this is making me wonder, I see this MJF pay, and it's the number one trending, actually. This makes me wonder, because that's why Rhodes left, was because money, and now his best heel. But Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes, I'm not, it's whatever, but now his best heel on the roster they're saying he's seriously underpaid, which sucks too, because heels don't sell the same type of merchandise usually. So
this is the other MJF article too that I've seen, because I guess there's a video of them saying about stuff that happened.
I've listened to Wade Keller for years. He's not that other piece of Dave Meltzer. Whatever. He doesn't just, hey, wouldn't it be cool if this happens? Better write up an article.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, it's gonna be Wardlow and Goldberg, and then fucking people it's like Doomcock. Like everybody fucking, oh, it's gonna happen. Oh, it's so gonna happen. Oh yeah, and then it never fucking happens.
If I fool the people all the time, then they'll all follow me on Patreon, and then I can continue to not read super chats.
Han's cock is the superior cock. Enough said.
It's a pissing contest.
So, did you guys see the debut of Starcock?
Yes. That was a good. Well, whoever was Starcock, I couldn't quite. I knew the voice.
I thought the back and forth was pretty fun.
Yeah. So, according to PW Torch's Wade Keller, I like Wade. He's a little lefty, but he doesn't let that get involved in what he does. Wade Keller, who reports the 26-year-old earned significantly more than the rough starter rate, approximately $40,000 to $70,000 annually, paid to several early AEW signings, having been given a raise at some stage. Despite this, MJF's contract is still modest compared to at least a half dozen free agents who've come into the promotion since MJF got his increase. I feel that. I was working, story for another time, but I've been there, MJF. Wade Keller named Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Adam Cole. See, I think MJF at least deserves to make as much as Adam Cole. Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Adam Cole, Malachi Black, Mark Henry, and Christian Cage, who I'm not. Christian is cool, but like
They
you
need to
wanna
get him
talk
away
about-
from Jurassic Express and have him do something like either by himself or like with somebody else.
That's a weird pairing.
It is very weird.
I think everything Bischoff said about CM Punk is kind of true for Christian Cage. Like, he doesn't move the numbers, you know. Like, if he was there or not, things would be
If
relatively
Edge was
the
there
same.
and they were together, it'd
Yeah,
be a different story.
Yeah. But Edge ain't going, you know. He's
Edge is a company man. He's never gonna
yeah,
leave.
he's on his last run.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's on his last run anyway. Like, he's doing this Shawn Michaels thing where he's coming back for a few years. So yeah, those people, those few names make more money than MJF. A pay dispute is understood to be at the heart of Friedman's current backstage difficulties in AEW. Per Keller, by January 1st, 22, MJF was looking for a deal comparable to others in his card position, using the quality of his work and good ratings record as part of the justification. And again, I think he does deserve that, you know. He's definitely affecting things more than Christian is. You know, just that's the truth. When AEW founder and president Tony Khan didn't approach him for negotiations, MJF got upset in private, contributing to the much publicized blow-up between the two. MJF, who Keller states has a tendency to get really worked up, has become so upset with the situation that people around him claim he's become withdrawn and bitter backstage. The 26-year-old seeks a pay rise that would put him on a similar level to those in similar card positions. And again, I think he makes more of an impact than most of those guys. MJF is going to be a great champion one day.
All right, so that's I agree. And this is the thing with this kid, and I've only seen him, you know, live like that once, and that was the other night. But I've seen a lot of video footage of him that, especially Loudy sent me. The guy is a natural born heel. He has that it factor. He has the look. He has the delivery. He has the cadence when he speaks. Even what I saw him take, he took that squash match like a fucking champ. And his work is solid. And he held kayfabe with like a 10-year-old girl who flipped him off at a convention and then asked him for an autograph. Like, you know, that shit is, that guy is, he lives and breathes the business. That's the future. That's the future of your company. Heel or babyface, pay that son of a bitch his money. Pay him his money.
He's not on Twitter bullshitting with fucking Bryan Danielson afterwards. He's a dickhead on Twitter.
He is.
He lives and breathes his character. He protects the business, and that's not something a lot of wrestlers can say these days.
No.
He doesn't fuck around. He's not going to the cafe with the good guys after the match and ordering his steak and eggs. Like, he remains his character in public.
Just like Taker did.
You know, that's funny. When we went out to eat after shows, it was just usually the guys from our stable and maybe one other dude that was a ref.
Yeah,
that's funny. I just thought of that.
That's why D'Lo never got more of a push in WWF. They didn't want it to go to his head because
if he
might
snap. He was like Merton Hanks. If anybody, there's a reference for you. Look up Merton Hanks' neck. He did the same thing with his head. It was crazy. I was looked like it was going to fall off. He played for the 49ers.
Oh.
He was a D-back.
Okay,
You know what I'm talking about? It was like it was like a different direction, but it was kind of like the same kind of thing. Yeah, dude, it was nuts. I used to want to punch him in the face when he did that. I'm like, oh god. I hate San Francisco. I've always hated the fucking 49ers.
I like the 49ers.
Oh my god, I've always hated San Francisco.
It's weird because where I'm at in PA, it's either you're an Eagles fan, a Steelers, or Dallas, or a 49ers fan. It's those four teams, like in this area.
He does this thing when he like he got a couple pick sixes, he like jerks his head back and forth, and it looked like it was gonna fall off. He was like the NFL's D-Lo.
That's funny. So let's look at if you guys don't mind, let's look at one more article. I was gonna click on it until I saw the fun MJF article that I wanted to read. So battery's dying on the phone. Be well, y'all. See you later, Tommy. Thank you for joining us, brother.
See you, brother.
Bro.
Take care, man. Feel
Have a
better.
great night, Tommy. Yep, feel better, man.
Yeah, man. Rest that foot.
Watch your toes, motherfuckers.
I you know what? He lied. It wasn't a cinder block. He just kept kicking everybody right in the junk on the internet.
And they deserved it.
That's right. Over time, it's just there's so many people. He broke his foot off up in someone's ass. That's what he did.
I need to put on my ad blocker. What the fuck, man? I keep playing these full-fledged videos. I got a copyright strike for one of these because it was like
Holy shit.
a commercial for the Stephen Colbert Late Show or whatever, and they fucking claimed it. CBS. I'm like, you guys are the ones paying for this and setting it up. Fuck you, dude. Like,
Colbert,
I didn't
the one that's
yeah.
Colbert's a piece of shit.
Maybe I shouldn't say what I was about to say.
Yeah.
His best friends over in the Clinton side.
We do not.
He likes young
endorse-
Gash.
We do not endorse nor do we like the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and the last person I'm trying to fucking rip off for subs is that asshole. I ain't bringing that audience over here. So, yeah, 10 wrestler introductions you don't remember, and these are always kind of fun when you go back and see someone who's made a name for themselves, and you're like, oh yeah, that's how they started out. I don't remember that. I remember Extreme Expose, but damn, Kelly.
Nice.
All my girls in the back say, ooh. So they say in life that first impressions are everything, and that is especially true in the world of professional wrestling. If you don't believe so, just ask Karrion Kross, the Shockmaster or the Gobbledygooker, how devastating a poor introduction can be. And that's true. Look at like Taz's intro in WWF or Kurt Angle's intro or John Cena. Like, they had good introductions. So on the flip side, a good debut can be the catalyst for a successful run in the WWE. The likes of The Shield, John Cena, Kevin Owens, and countless others have arrived, made an immediate impact, and gone on to do great things. Jericho had a great debut in the WWF. So, while some stars debut and immediately have a gimmick that sticks, many wrestlers show up with a poor gimmick and quickly transition to their legacy-building persona. Many fans will remember Kane's beginnings as Isaac Yankem or Fake Diesel, Steve Austin as the Ringmaster, or even Becky Lynch as an Irish dancer down in NXT. Despite this, there are several wrestlers whose original gimmick fans do not remember, whether it be a wedding planner, hairdresser, or simply a fan in the crowd. There are numerous forgettable beginnings for memorable WWE superstars. With that in mind, I'm Simon from What Culture, and here are 10 wrestling introductions that you likely don't remember. Number 10. Paul White, Andre the Giant's son. The man known as Paul White or the Big Show, they tried calling him the Big Nasty and all kinds of shit at first. Paul White or the Big Show is known for his record number of face and heel turns throughout his legendary career. In his 27-year tenure across WCW, WWE, and now AEW, White has largely kept the same gimmick of the world's largest athlete. However, back in 1995, he was brought into WCW as the Giant with a surprising backstory. And I don't think this is one people really forgot. For years after this, people were like, he's Andre the Giant Thun, right? No, he's not. Asshole. But yeah, the Giant was
disease.
Yeah. Yes, he did. But see what happens when you don't drink, folks? You just get fat, but you don't die at fucking 28. So, The Giant was the latest member of Kevin Sullivan's Dungeon of Doom, a faction created solely to take down the heavyweight champion Hulk Hogan at Slamboree 95. While Hogan was making his way to the ring, there stood the Giant at the top of the entranceway. The WCW audience was told that not only was this man a literal giant, but he was in fact the son of legendary wrestler Andre the Giant. Given the size of the Giant and his kayfabe connections to the Hulkster's greatest rival, it was no surprise when Sullivan's newest addition won the WCW heavyweight title from Hogan at Halloween Havoc in Paul White's first match, albeit by disqualification. Despite being part of WCW for nearly 4 years, his connections to Andre were quietly dropped from his character with nothing in the way of an explanation. So number 9, Rosa Mendez is Beth Phoenix's intern. I barely remember Rosa Mendez.
She was hot. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Yep.
I wasn't watching at the time.
Yeah, like I don't... The mid-2000s were a little weird. Sometimes I would watch, sometimes I wouldn't. I just wasn't that interested in Triple H versus Batista. Sorry. Like, yeah. Despite never winning championship gold, fans may be shocked to realize that Rosa Mendez managed to have nearly a decade-long run under Vince McMahon's employ. I'm giving everyone a second to get over the shock.
I'm totally
Yep. No, man.
Yeah. After coming in pat in the 2006, or coming up short, sorry. That probably wasn't very funny.
Coming with Pat.
After coming up short in the 2006 episode, she signed a contract with the company, allowing her to continue training. Blah, blah, blah. After jumping the guardrail to attack Melina. Blah, 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 blah. This kickstarted Rosa's run, managing a large number of WWE superstars throughout her time with the company, even though everyone, just remembers her name, but that's about it.
Isn't
John
Melina
Morris.
Melina Rucka her name or something like that, I think?
I just know that Batista was banging her behind this guy's back, or in front of him, but there was nothing he could do about it. So,
what, Bischoff was banging his chick? What was that?
No,
John. Yeah, John Morrison and Melina were together in real life, but Batista would just fuck her.
Wow.
Like, she wanted to fuck him, he wanted to fuck her, and there's nothing. What are you gonna do if Batista's fucking your chick? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Melina Rucka was Rosa Mendez.
Okay.
Melina Leticia Rucka. She's 42.
Oh yeah.
She's our age. She looks good.
Nice.
Not a big fan of.
She was at WrestleMania, wasn't she? Or not WrestleMania, Royal Rumble.
Was she?
I think.
Not a big fan of Johnny Nitro or John Morrison. I've never been a fan of this dude. He started in Tough Enough. Yeah.
I didn't like
Johnny Elite
Eminem.
now.
Yeah, he started as Bischoff's bitch, and that's why he went by Johnny Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Bischoff left, he went by John Morrison, which was fucking stupid. I couldn't stand his entrance.
Yeah.
The Shaman of Sexy.
So stupid. I remember when I was really into the business at the time and the backstage happenings, and he was making his final appearance on Raw, back in something 2008 or somewhere around then. He was making his final appearance, and his contract was expiring, and he was going to the Indies. And he just came out smiling you know what they'll do to you, if they want to bury you on the way out. And that's what Vince wanted for him. Yeah. So he comes out smiling like a douchebag, and whoever ran out and just beat the shit out of him. I mean, he didn't wrestle. Yeah.
Well, on top of it, wasn't he the other one that was banging Paige in those videos? Or am I wrong?
No,
No,
that,
that
was,
was,
Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, they made a mess of her.
I think her and Brad were together, but yeah, she obviously wanted a threesome with the black dude.
She's like her roll the dice of the guy with the smallest dick.
Well, it's like Brad Maddox too. It's like, again, what are you going to do about it? Like Paige could probably kick his ass. So
Yeah.
a lot
I
of
think
these
that's
aren't.
why. Well, that's why she was with those two, right? Because she was bigger than them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these aren't what I like. I don't care about Eve Mendez or Rosa, whoever the fuck, or Alicia Fox. Great. She was a wedding planner for fucking Eddie Guerrero's widow. Like,
Yep.
I don't know who fucking Reggie is.
Yeah, who the fuck is Reggie?
Like, what is all this? Kelly was a solo stripper, okay.
That's
all right.
We're getting there.
Nobody has an issue with that.
ECW.
More Kelly, please.
Yes. Many fans will remember the ECW act out of Extreme Expose, comprised of Layla, Brooke, and Kelly. For months, they were a highlight for fans who had become used to this type of presentation of women on WWE program. Fuck yourself, dude.
Right.
Fuck yourself. They always, like, if you ever watch What Culture's videos, they're like, well, back then they thought it was okay to have women wrestle in lingerie matches. Like, they should be still. Like, not all women, but the fucking ones who showed up to fucking boost their career
like
in
Red
modeling.
Velvet.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Oh, yeah, Red Velvet's fine in lingerie.
And some of those other wrestlers that are like that in AEW,
I swear, What Culture is full of male feminists. Like,
dude, they
most
are.
of these guys. Simon is okay. I like Simon, but most of these guys are on a fucking registry.
King Ross went all weird when Trump got elected.
They all went all
Did he?
fucking weird when that happened.
Yeah. So at just 19 years old, you should be a stripper. At just 19 years old, Kelly debuted on the first episode of ECW on Sci-Fi. I don't think I ever watched that show. I was just like, it's not ECW, you know?
I did, and I hated it.
Yeah.
The fact that they had wrestling on Sci-Fi, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is this?
The very first match was Sandman versus the Zombie, and Sandman came out and just beat the fuck out of this guy with his cane. The dude was literally like dressed like a zombie.
Then Vince was like, I don't like him, fire him.
Vince is
like the zombie. He's like, no, the Sandman.
I'm gonna shave my head and start wearing a wave cap and become the ECW champion, cause I'm Vince McMahon, the genetic jackhammer. Damn it!
Like, who are these people?
Mace. He used to rap with Diddy. Dun, 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 dun.
I remember Mace.
You know, you make me feel so good.
Welcome
Guess
back.
who? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
They did
Does
this song
anybody
for
give it?
Rugrats as well with what was that? The guys that did No Diggity and
Blackstreet.
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 I think Aaliyah was in that, or Maya, or one of them. But
Probably Maya. Aaliyah's dead.
well, this was like back when the first Rugrats
Back
movie
then.
came out.
Oh. Aaliyah died in 2001, I think, in that plane
Aaliyah
crash.
died when she married R. Kelly at 13.
But yeah, when he started peeing on her when she was 14.
I'm gonna poop on you.
Piss, piss, trip, trip, trip.
That Chappelle skit was brilliant, dude. That was
R.
fucking
Kelly's
brilliant.
doo-doo butter.
Take
That
Me
was-
There is what
Yep.
it was. It was by Blackstreet, but it had a bunch of guest stars in
See,
the song.
that's when my wife first started to notice the agenda, because she loves the Rugrats, always did. And then they made a new Rugrats for Paramount
Yep.
Plus, and now Phil and Lil's mom is a lesbian, and she was like,
Yep.
"What the fuck? What about their dad?" I'm like, "Babe, this is what I've been preaching for years. They
Yeah.
get to
Yep.
everything.
Is
They
it funny
get to
when people
everything."
when family members and friends are like, "Ah, you guys are crazy," until they see it right in their face, and it's something that they love got destroyed.
Yeah. It was just like it was just insinuated that was like, well, she was more of a tomboy, but yeah.
Yeah, she
In the
wore the
original.
pants in the relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Just imagine Peppermint Patty, yo. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
She was wearing like yoga pants in the relationship. Now she's wearing dungarees.
Yeah.
Well, Peppermint Patty, I mean, like, that character, I'm surprised they didn't draw her back then with the dildo in her pocket.
Okay, sir.
Hey, Chuck, I'm grabbing my junk right now. You shouldn't let
Hey,
Lucy do that to you.
Hey, Chuck, I'm going to shove this up your ass because I think I should. And you're just going to take it.
Yes. So Carmella, like, it's all fucking women. They're like, I hate what culture. I thought this was going to be an interesting list.
You're so sexist.
Like, there's not one fucking like person. Like, how did Bobby Lashley debut in ECW? Right? Like, talk about that or something. Like,
Yeah, it was Maya, Mace, and Blinky. Blink.
They gave
I don't remember them.
Yeah.
we remember Deacon. You fucking assholes. They talk about it every time they talk about Batista.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I bowed out
Reverend
at a lot of that shit.
Devon, which was fucking dumb.
Oh, the Reverend Devon was horrible.
Why would I want to
so bad.
restart this? Why would I want to fucking restart this?
No idea.
Just in case you thought you were that high that it wasn't that bad of a list.
Come on, no one can ever be that high and still live.
Nobody. Ever.
Trust the science.
Not even Etep.
Etep has entered the chat.
Jesus.
Sting looks
insane.
disapprovingly at that list.
He does.
I think what was
Yeah,
nice
he's
about
very
this
disapproved.
week's is that not an overabundance of anything really happened, but it's kind of that breather in between. So you don't have too much all at once and then nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how come you guys even, were saying, hey, for a Raw, this wasn't the worst because we watched some pretty bad Raws.
Yeah, we did.
Draven, did you hear Rockstar Games? They're teasing the reveal of a new project.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Well, that's okay. this
Grand
art-
Theft Auto, fucking 5 for
Yeah,
the next system or some shit.
yeah, no shit. And that's the thing. What are they gonna do with GTA 6? Like, what are they gonna do
I
with
don't
it? They
fucking
can't
know.
fucking. GTA 5 was awesome. You were blowing Mark Zuckerberg's head off with his cell phone bomb. That was fucking
Rick and
awesome.
Morty
Really?
mods, man.
Tell me more
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, dude,
I
that
never
was-
played the campaign for 5, so
Yeah, you gotta you sneak into the. It's not Facebook. It's whatever they call it, but you sneak into their fucking little campus, their work site, and you got to pretend to be a smug fucking liberal and shit, and you eventually make his way to his office where he's gonna show off the app or whatever on the phone, and you switch out his phone for the one you had, and then he goes out there to do the presentation, it's streaming live on the internet and whatever, and he fucking goes to use the phone and just tens of thousands of people watching you blow his fucking head off, dude. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Nice.
So
I have it. I just never played through the campaign. How is it online with my buddies?
maybe it's the company is supposed to be Apple, but then it's Mark Zucker. The CEO was supposed to be Mark Zuckerberg, and they blended him or something. But whatever, it was fucking awesome. Good times.
Hell yeah.
So, Glinzer says, I remember a Nitro episode where Scott Hall asked White, "Are you really Andre's son?" And White mumbled, "Don't go there, man." Tupac, Biggie, Eazy-E, and DMX forming a new group, from Beyond the Grave, Dead Street. Yeah. And yeah, one game per gen. That's what I was gonna say. Like, even in the article, it was saying they haven't heard anything since Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018. Like,
which I never finished.
I just recently started playing it again, so I'm gonna try to finish it this time.
So that's why you have a
which one?
a thing
Red
for
Dead.
westerns right now.
Oh yeah, that shit was good.
I've got the zombie edition.
Of
That's
the first
awesome.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I never played the first one.
Oh, the
Oh,
first
no?
Red Dead is really good.
Don't you
Yeah.
play that guy John Marston or whatever?
Yep, John Marston.
Yeah. And
I
this
played
one,
that game for
Arthur.
hours. I even found all the like special horses and shit. And
Yeah, they
like,
had
you get a
I-
unicorn or some shit too.
I think it was in that pack with the zombie one. You could actually you could get the 4 horsemen's horses, and each one of them has a special power and shit.
Yep.
Oh, dude, it's pretty amazing.
This one isn't really open. The first one isn't like an open world game, is it?
Yeah.
It is. Damn.
Yeah.
Should have played that. That's one of those games like I always wanted to play and didn't. And
There's
then
the
Red
one
Dead
before
2
Red
came
Dead
out.
though. That I'm not sure how that one plays. That one's different.
Isn't Red Dead 2 though? That's like the prequel to all this, right?
That's the prequel to Red
Red
Dead
Dead.
Revolver. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. Is when you like when you see John Marston in that second, the prequel game. Yeah, it's like one of those moments. Oh shit! Like, oh, that's how he got his scars, and you know, and you want to see more of him and what happens in that game too. There's so much cool shit, and they built a good little history and lore with those characters.
That's awesome. I got to play more of those games. I've only played RDR2.
Yeah. The second one, there was a really great bug that they had that was in the game where there was a way where you could get like endless gold.
I saw that, and they fixed it with a patch update.
Those
Fucking
sons of bitches.
yeah.
I was able to
Motherfuckers.
catch it in time, and holy fuck, did that come in handy.
Yeah, I bet. Like I wanted to do that. It's where you open that box and there's like the whatever, and then there's the gold bar, and like you take the gold bar, but then you pause it and like
Yeah.
save it and reload it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they
Yeah.
fixed it. And they said, well, you can take the patch off and then unplug your PlayStation from the internet, like re-download the game, but then unplug your PlayStation from the internet before it updates, and don't play it online.
Okay. Oh, I
But-
didn't know that.
I'm like, I have it digital because it was on sale at the PlayStation Store, and that shit took so long to download originally. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Oh
again.
yeah, no, dude, it's fucking retarded. I had the actual hard copy, and like they gave you like 2 extra discs, and you had to swap them out when they told you to.
Jesus.
After waiting like almost all goddamn day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, well, that's just how big that game is and how big the
Yeah.
world is that they built, which is saying a lot. And Man Bear Pig is actually in the game.
Is he?
Yeah,
In 2?
yeah.
I
Nice.
swear, you guys, he's super duper real. I'm super serial.
Al Gore's
Dude, it was hilarious.
grandfather.
It's inside of a house somewhere. It's pretty crazy too.
That's
It-
awesome.
They did a good job with it, and it looked fucking great.
I wish they would. What's
Florence
that?
Florence Pugh's in Dune too.
She is.
Dune just got a little more badonkadonky here.
Yeah, it did. For someone who's kind of like she's on the flatter side and she's a little thing. Man, I really like that chick. There's something about her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's in Midsummer. I liked her in that.
Yep. I've never seen that movie.
Oh,
after
dude.
what was that
Gotta
movie?
watch
The,
that
the
movie.
Bees, the Wicker Man. I'm done watching movies about cults and fucking
Oh,
statues.
dude, it's
and
so fucking good. It is so good.
See?
It's weird as fuck. And Hereditary, I don't know if you've seen that. That movie is
Nope.
fucked up too.
No, I have not seen Hereditary.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll have to check out that game, Glenzer. I haven't heard about that.
Hmm.
So, what I would like, and we'll wrap it up after this. I would really like an open world game like Ghost of Tsushima or Red Dead Redemption 2, but the Revolutionary War,
Yeah.
where you're
Yeah,
having to go through the 13 colonies, and
I think the closest we have to that is like Assassin's Creed
Assassin's Creed.
3,
yeah.
which is
Connor.
a shame because if they went with the father, if they went with Hatham, I think that was his name. If they went with him,
Mhm.
it would have been a way better game. They went to the Indian and they fucking destroyed it.
I didn't mind. I like 3. I don't know.
I
That's
played
just
it.
me.
I played it once through, and that was enough for me. I'm like, I was disappointed. I think the story went to shit, and his father was way more interesting. That's I'm happy and for
Templar. He was a Templar or whatever.
Yeah, and it would have been cooler. And I think a lot of people were saying that, and that's why they ended up making that Rogue one.
Oh yeah, the one that takes place like before it or some shit.
Something like that. I mean, I never got a chance to play it because like they made that game in between systems, like when they were porting over shit, and I missed out on it. I didn't think that they had it on the other system, but no, I love that they ended up making the pirate game, and that's the grandfather.
Oh, Black Flag
Indian.
is so good.
Yeah, oh, dude, I fucking love it because it's not an Assassin's Creed game. It's
I know. The fucking ship combat in that game is so fire. Oh my god.
I missed out on Assassin's Creed because the first one was kind of bad, so I'm like, oh fuck these games then. So I didn't play any of the other ones. But
they changed the way they play in the other ones.
Yeah.
After 1.
2, Ezio's storyline is so fucking fantastic. That's why to this day people are like, oh, that's still my favorite assassin. And then it's the pirate. And I highly recommend that pirate game. That shit it's still so much fun.
Odyssey's not bad either.
No, I'll say that too. Yeah. Odyssey I had fun with because I love Greek mythology and all that shit.
The ship combat's not as good. But like they bring it back like because fucking Unity fucked up all the combat, and it kind of goes back to the way the combat used to be in I think it started in Origins, but Odyssey kind of refines that a little bit. And
Origins was fun.
I was so happy.
The Egyptian shit was cool. And I like what they did with those 2 games, with Origins and with Odyssey. They did something with Discovery, and you could actually there's like a whole section where you could just explore and find the real history of the culture in the areas.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, you can just walk through and just click on and learn all that shit, which is pretty damn sweet.
That's what I like best about Ghost of Tsushima. It's kind of like exaggerated actual history.
Oh yeah.
Etep.
Well, again, Odyssey did the same
sir.
thing, but then they have that separate section so you could find out the real history.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome. I could sit here and talk video games for another hour.
We'll do that on another stream. I always like doing that stuff. You guys want to do it on my stream sometime? We'll, maybe on Sunday.
Hell yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. What have you got going on, sir? In the world place to be.
Oh, I've got let's see. We've got a couple videos we're working on tomorrow, doing a trailer reaction to the Gotham Knights trailer that just dropped. And also we have a video about there was something else really good. I got an article set aside for it. You'll just have to tune in and find out tomorrow on the channel. We've got Tony and I have got a couple guests tomorrow night for Going Rogue. TBD and TBA will be there. I think Normie and Nick Glenn are coming on tomorrow night. So we'll do that. And yeah, members stream beforehand as always. Yeah, so come on over, gang. I just released the 8th Nitro video. That's out right now. Yeah, you can check that out. I got that done and only had to take it down once to remove some music on it that they're now claiming for some reason. So, yay, WWE, their shit. But thank you, man. Thank you for having me on. This was fun. We got to review a couple good weeks of a couple good episodes of Nitro and Raw, and now next week we get Home Invasion Austin edition. So thank you, man. Hail this chat too.
And you know who you should have on instead of nothing against like Nick Glenn and New Comic Book Normie, but you should ask Elon Musk to come on, bro.
I thought about hitting him up, being like, "Hey, what up, yo? You want to come on the show, Elon? You know, you've been on Tim Pool's and shit. And I think he was on Joe Rogan's. Yep. I mean, it only stands to reason. Yeah, see, he can now. When I build my new studio in the house, we'll have a space for 2 people to record, so he can come to my house too, and
Nice.
he can come to the Etep's compound.
The compound Wokuian. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you, man. Thank you for
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Love you,
Congrats
man.
again,
Love
bro.
this. Thank you, dude.
Fucking
much love,
Thank you,
brother.
guys.
Why, hello. I'm Angelous Draven. I do gaming here on YouTube, well, mainly on Twitch, and I just started to do some stuff on YouTube. Go watch our review of Double or Nothing over on my channel, since we did that the other day, and a full breakdown of all the matches and what we liked and what we didn't like. So, yep.
Yes. Yes, good times. And that was really fun, man. I can't wait to watch another event with you guys.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the show tonight, brother.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure. Look forward to the next one.
Hell
Wait,
yeah.
here's Draven's outro. There we go, right there.
Cure for herpes. Vampirism.
Goddamn.
Perfect.
Mr. Art. Mr. Fulfillment King.
Yeah, man.
Kang.
Wigs was Kangs. Buried in books and boxes right now, and labels and all this great stuff, and getting books out the door. Yeah, I think I fulfilled how many now? Over 100. No, fact. Yeah. It's getting there, man. Vinny's fucking tired. but I'm getting it done. Every stream.
You get that child labor.
Yeah, that's what I need. Where's the young gash? I don't want to touch them. I just want them to work for me.
You need some Palumpas.
I need orange ones, yeah. Yeah, we're getting more of this done, and I don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm releasing even more of Hans Cock. We have 3 so far, and more Hans Cock is on the way. We had a very special guest today, the star cock himself, George. That was fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful guest. But yeah, we're gonna have some more. I got another good topic. I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna try to record it tonight, and then let it drop in the morning. It's like I gotta see what time I could go to sleep tonight, because I was up late again. But yeah, no, those are fun, and I'm glad people are enjoying them. Surprisingly more fun than I thought it was gonna be. So I recommend anyone, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Those are great. We should be back on my stream on Friday and Sunday. Yeah. I had some good news about one of the countries I could ship to, so I was trying to get those out the door, and man, it's still pricey as fuck. But yeah, we're making it happen. It's a good thing. So get ready. Yeah, check your emails, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys and girls, you should have your tracking numbers. Yeah, as soon as I get them out there, I get back here and I put in the tracking numbers for you guys. And yeah, Fulfillment King all the way. Campaign number 6. And I think my next campaign, I'm going to go a lot more simple. I'll maybe have only 2 tiers, because this shit's driving me bananas right now.
Yeah, it's got to be a bit monotonous, and just like making sure you get the right items with the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, even with the fucking spreadsheet and everything, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right now, I think there's only one country that's still on complete lockdown, and I might have to save them for later, or message them and see if they're willing to pay more for shipping, because wow. My jaw hit the floor when I saw the price on that one.
Wakanda.
Yeah, is it expensive to ship to Wakanda?
What kind of shit you talking about?
What kind of shit is this?
Right. Yeah, because we can't find them on the map.
Shit.
Remember, stay away from those those seedy looking parking lots with the dumpsters. Yeah. there's a lot of people back there that aren't doing their jobs. They're not getting their work done because they're too busy with, being on their knees. And other ones like analyzing shit on beds and all that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, yeah. Make sure you do the right thing, people. Be kind to one another. Kick ass while you create. I love you guys. Everyone in chat. Everyone on panel. Oh, yeah. Can't wait to do this again.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Thank you, brother.
A pleasure, man. We was kings and shit. Kings.
All right. And last but not least, we're going to go to Draven again.
Oh, hey guys.
So hey there.
Hi
Right.
there.
Hi there, Mr. Not Sparkly Van Par. Yeah, so every you will find me with all the before mentioned places, hanging out with all these fine gentlemen in the chats, on the panel sometimes, having lots of fun. Be on the men's room Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, Frank says hi. We've got puppies that are going to be cruising, and so I've had to redo my schedule to a day walker again, and I'm not liking it, but it's getting there.
Was it Frank that you were showing me had the surgery?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Poor fella, because that's why, and God bless you, Pete, for Etep Wokuian.
What?
He could read my bad writing from my phone because it messed it up, and when I was writing for Frank, and he was like, he was happy to see you, but it said in, and you got it like right from the get-go. But you chuckling the whole time when you were reading it just made my day, and I was laughing, and Frank was just sitting here looking at me like, you're an asshole. You told everybody on me that I lost my nuts and my teeth, you some bitch.
Nuts and his teeth. That could be a country song.
I'm telling you, man. Play it forward, you get it back.
If there was a truck involved in that, that's definitely a country song.
It would be your truck. It did get hit in Indiana.
God damn it. That's why I sold it to my dad.
Yep. You know it.
Hail to you, sir. Hail to hail to the Appalachian American. Hail to whatever Tommy's name is over there. Hail to the men's room.
Tommy Gladden?
Yes,
yeah,
Mr. Tommy Gunn. Mr. Tommy Gunn Gladden. Yes.
What? Don't you all have code names though? What's Tommy's name?
Well, he's my partner over there. He don't speak so good like you and me.
Oh. And then shout out to the other guy too on the men's ring.
Hi there, bud. Shout out to him, fella.
Good old Lape is Enos. Yes, he's there from time to time. We've had Dr. Coffin Nails have a couple guest appearances as well. So
hell yeah.
It's
nice.
It's always fun to get some new guys that want to kind of test out the stuff and test out the waters to try to do the YouTube and that we all know from chats and whatnot. So it's good to be there.
Hell yeah, man. Fucking look forward to that. That's every Friday night, the men's room. Thanks for being here, brothers.
Thanks for having me, man. Like I said, we've said it numerous times, and every time I keep popping on here, but we know where we're headed, and it's just so epic, and we're getting those little foreshadowing bits that we've been looking forward to. So it still is a great time to be a fan right now.
Yeah, definitely. It's the benefit of like you said, knowing where this is going and stuff. So being able to pick up on little things that you may not have the first time around. It's interesting.
Yeah. And after next week's episode, man, whether I'm with you or not, of course I'll be in the chat. All I can tell you is I never missed a Raw after next week's Raw because of what happens on next week's Raw.
It's just so, just to bring something up in particular, it's so heartbreaking. Like last week, you have Brett give this just impassioned speech, this promo, and it ends with, and I am never going to leave the WWF, but what happens a year from now. And it's, man, it just adds an extra layer.
No less, bro.
Yeah.
Again,
yeah.
Sean.
Yeah. Well, the next year's going to be great, man. This time next year, Kane's going to be debuting, and good stuff going on. So I
Hell in
can't
the
wait.
Cells. Yeah.
Yep. So, all right, brother. Thank you, Adam. Much love.
Thank you
bro.
always, Tony. It is always an honor to be with you, great gentlemen, and always have fun. So thank
Hell
all
yeah.
of you for everything that you do for all of us.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Hell yeah. And if you haven't, go check out my video from earlier today. What shitter get off the damn toilet. Yeah. Go check that out. Not much, pre-planning, no notes, nothing. I just had to kind of go on and speak my piece about something because, well, I need to do that more often. I feel a certain way about something and I'll bitch about it. And then I'm like, why didn't I make that into a video? So, yeah, go check that out. I very much would appreciate the support. We've got a comment from Godzillionaire on that video, either shit or get off the damn toilet. He says Disney Star Wars is doing what Eric July recommends, and it's what Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers recommends too. Disney Star Wars is monetizing their haters. So good on you, Disney Star Wars. I think you suck, but hey, if you can keep them hooked. So yeah, go check that out. Again, check out Draven's Double or Nothing review. We're all over there on a Sunday night, late night, but a lot of fun. Like, I come from a place where when I watched the wrestling pay-per-views, it was usually alone or maybe with like a friend or two or something. But, I never had those groups like that to sit there and just watch with and bullshit and laugh and have fun, So that it's really fun, like that makes wrestling that much better, having people to watch with. They say happiness is only real when it's shared. So that was definitely Sunday night. I wish you guys could have been there for the pay-per-view and heard our commentary on it and everything going on for the 4 or 5 hours it was on. But that review was great. And yeah, it was a great show. So can't wait for the next one. We might be doing something kind of similar coming up on Starrcade and for WrestleManias, where we actually will do a watch party and you and the audience can sit down with us. We'll synchronize our times and then go ahead and hit play and watch these pay-per-views together. Significantly shorter pay-per-views. No 4 or 5 hours. They're like 2.5 hours. I remember for a time when Nitro was 3 hours and their pay-per-views were only 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yep.
And I always thought it was weird, like your TV show's longer than your pay-per-views, motherfucker. Like
I'm paying for pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hell, like speaking of like length of show, they did a dark the other day, and it was literally 20 minutes. They had 2 matches on it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's because it was right after Double or Nothing, so like they just did 2 matches because normally they would have a bigger, like you would have at least like 6 or 7 matches on a dark. But everybody's obviously it was in Vegas, so
yes, maybe next time I'll go to one of their shows. Like I said, number one, they could have chosen some cheaper venues, even though T-Mobile Arena is pretty cheap, but it's like fucking like the cheapest I saw because they were here for Dynamite Rampage and the pay-per-view. And I think the pay-per-view was the cheaper seats, but even those were like $70 per nosebleed.
Yeah.
And then they were like at the Mandalay Bay for one of them, and that shit was like $110 for the cheapest tickets. Like, holy shit, if me and my wife went to that, it'd be like a $600-700 investment to go to all 3 of them. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, with that being said, we'll be back next week. Thank you all very much. Yeah. Remember, they are not pop culture, they are agenda. Half of us are pop culture, and the other half can't wait to line up in front of the agenda, buy the special popcorn buckets. That way, you don't